Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burb with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hola, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 918. The two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, this afternoon, wherever you may be, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Glad to be back, everybody. Yeah. What's going on? Wait, Mike, hold on.
Mike! Hello there, Mike.
Hey, Mikey.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What's going on, Mike?
What's up?
Shit. Getting ready to get this shit on the road, man. It is just a week away, 1 week away, and I guess you could call it a week and a day, but you know what's still less than a week till tampering period. A lot of things going on with our NFL, with our Steelers, with this offseason. We're going to get into all that and so much more. I do want to say good morning to Tortilla Jackson, way out in Sacramento, California. He says, morning, Yinzers. Pretend I said something funny.
To laugh, we just have to look at you.
Hope that helped. Good afternoon, good morning to Tortilla out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the show. A few things to go to, Mike, before we do get started. Before we get a full head of steam going for us, the Pittsburgh Pirates are the best team in preseason. Now, take away the last part I said, preseason, and just take it for what it is. When is the Pirates ever the best at anything? People are going to say, but Ryan, it's preseason. That doesn't count. This doesn't count. You know what? When is the last time the Pirates were the best at anything? I'm gonna run with this as long as I can. The Pirates, Mike, are 9-2. They are ahead of the Yankees, who are 8-2 in the Grapefruit League. Pittsburgh Pirates, again, spending over $100 million on their roster this year. And I think it's going to make a difference as this team is right now 9-2, Mike, heading the way. And here's another thing for people that are going to be like, it's preseason. I mean, these are good signs of things to come. They're not out there blundering it up, and you know, they're finding ways to win baseball games in spring. And to me, that's kind of important. I would think so. Anyway.
Yeah, they're good indicators out there. The guys that we brought in via free agency are looking like legit major leaguers, not like the guys we brought in years past who in in their prime were legit players, but by the time they came here, you can tell it was the end of the road for them. These guys, I think you said to me off air, they look excited to be Pittsburgh Pirates. And when is the last time you can remember someone coming here being excited to come here and want to stay here and play here? So that's a good sign right there that, by allowing Ben Sherrington to spend money, he might actually be a good GM if you allow him to actually do his job. And, if that's the case, this team should be really, really competitive, but also really fun to watch this year.
Well, this is 2 weeks into the spring training, Mike, and usually the Pirate players have that I just got eliminated from the playoffs look already.
Right?
And they don't have that. I find that encouraging. And then also some of these new guys that are coming in, they're winners. And Brandon Lowe's and Rhino Hearns, these guys, they want to win. They're used to winning, and they're willing to do what it is to figure out how to win as a Pirate. And I got to be honest with you, I'm glad we brought him in, Mike. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be, again, just more things during the offseason to keep our minds occupied as the Pirates do look decent in spring training. Mike, they'll be playing the Cardinals on Thursday at 1:05. Again, the Pirates have the best record in the majors so far in spring training. I hear the laughter. I can hear the laughter through the screen. But at the end of the day, you know what? As I said, Mike, at this point, we certainly will take it. The Pirates never look good in preseason. They certainly look like a team.
Yeah,
play baseball this year.
Yeah, they look well run.
They do.
I thought oh God, I forget our manager's name because Kelly, yeah, because last year he looked like when he took over, like he was just going to be a continuation of who we had before, putting out bad lineups and stuff. And you know what? This guy actually has players to work with. So I'm wiping the slate clean for him. He came into a bad situation last year, taking over for a terrible lineup. Let's see what he can do now with here. I don't want to see the Sunday lineups. That's going to be my key issue. Keeping an eye on him this year is he going to roll off that Sunday lineup to where it's a guaranteed loss? If they can stop doing that and put out a competitive lineup every time they're out on the field, this team has the chance to do some damage.
Yeah, and the Sunday lineup comes around. Guys need breaks and
that. Things happen, but consistently when they do it all the time.
A good pitching staff is usually the remedy for that, because as you are putting your backups in, giving guys rests, at least if you could get good pitching on a Sunday, then you could somehow manage to squeeze out a win. I think that's probably best case scenario, and we do have a nice pitching rotation. So hopefully that plays out for us throughout the season, because there are a lot of Sundays out of 162 games played. Again, the Pirates will be back at it on Thursday at 1:05 against the division rival St. Louis Cardinals. Like, the Pirates are 9-2. Pittsburgh Penguins, Mike, are back in action today. They play at Boston. They play the Bruins as the Penguins bring in their 31-15-13 mark to Boston today. This game is at 7 o'clock. Mike, the Pittsburgh Penguins, since when was this? Since Christmas, have the highest goals per game average with 4.04, lowest goals against average with 2.22. Mike, they have the second best penalty kill at an 89.4. In the Olympics alone, Mike, they are 2-0-1. They've got points in 20 of 23 games since they've been back, or since Christmas, and that puts them at 16-3-4. Christmas. Penguins are looking good, Mike. It'd be great to get Crosby back, but you know what? I'm certainly looking forward to the playoffs with this Penguins hockey team.
Me too. And with the trade deadline not too far away from them, to see who they might add, that I want to talk about a team that could be dangerous. Like, this isn't a team that is, building for the future. This is a team that can contend. And yeah, it's an older lineup, but my God, you see what a coaching change did. It reignited the careers of Erik Karlsson, because we thought, it's time to trade this guy. If Evgeny Malkin's playing like he's still in his prime, and in Crosby when he before the Olympics when he got hurt was Sidney Crosby. You know what you're getting from these guys, and the guys that he brought in through trades and free agency, they're all 20 goal scorers. This team is not a team on the rise. This is a team ready to go. And it sucks that we lost Crosby, but if he can come back healthy, and he's going to be energized and pissed off and ready to go, this might be phase one of your shaving something off of your body, because I think they're going to easily make it out of the first round.
I'm going to share something with you now that you brought that up. You made the perfect segue. Let me just say this real quick.
Because I'm a pro.
The Penguins, they do the NHL's trade deadline is Friday at 3 o'clock. So as you were saying, Mike, with the trade deadline, what else they could bring in possibly for this run? 3 o'clock on Friday is the trade deadline in the NHL. The shaving of the beard. Now, listen, if we could at least get through these 4 seasons as fast as possible, because right now I'm ready. I'm ready to shave my face. I'm ready to shave my head. I'm going to tell you a real quick story here, and then we'll get rolling. I went to pick my son up yesterday from school, which I usually don't do. He takes the bus, but they had an event. So I go to pick him up, and I'm at the elementary school, and I'm standing out there amongst all the parents. You have to stand out there, and I see my son, and I see him with his buddy. And then all of a sudden, his voice, louder than everybody, goes, "There's my dad. Isn't he really old? Look at him. He's so old. He's like a grandpa. Look at his face. Doesn't he look old?" And he kept saying it, and it was so loud. And for what if it was a bunch of kids standing around? I don't care. But like it was all these moms that were picking their kids up from school. And it was me and all these moms. And there's my 11-year-old son going, "Look at my dad. Isn't he so old?" And I hear the other little kid go, "My dad's 32. And I thought, well, good for you. And I thought, and everybody knew who I was talking about at this point or who he was talking about, because again, I'm the only guy standing across the road waiting for the kids. Cody, he's going to be 12. He's 11 right now. And he kept going on about how old I am. And I thought, dude, shut up. I'm not even that old. I mean, I'm 47, but I mean, come on, in the big picture, that's not really that old. And he's going on. And all I could hear was his voice above everybody else's voice. Kept going, "I know he looks really old. How old's your dad?" "My dad's old." I thought, dude, chill. Shut up.
The kids, man, they're rough, dude.
So I'm ready. Can we make the deal if one of these teams get out of the first round? I could do this. I don't know. It might, because here's the thing: I'm gonna have to wait till at least right around this time next year, till after the playoffs and football are done before we make this move. But I'm ready. I'm ready now. I'm ready to take it all off. Damn it! I was enjoying my beard. I've never, to this point, it's never been this long in my life. This is the longest I've ever let it grow, and I'm enjoying it. But again, that kind of shut that down.
Here's what you need to do. And each round they make it out of, like, you can just one team has to make it out of the first round, and you can shave your beard.
All right.
Like, we'll do that, and then the next team makes out, you shave a different part of your head.
That's June, because the Penguins will play playoffs in June, so that's the best case scenario.
You gotta wait till June. You gotta hold out, man. You gotta hold out till June. I have faith in you. This can go on. Like, there's this dude on TikTok. He's doing a challenge to where, like, a soccer team has to win 5 games in a row, then he'll cut his hair. He's over 500 days, and his hair started off like nothing, and now it's big and poofy. That's going to be you with the beard.
I thought it looked good. But now after that, I don't think I don't know. I mean, you remember when you were in school, and there was always the one kid that had the dad who was a lot older than everybody else's dad. Listen, I'm not that dad. I'm not that much. Because there was kids whose dad was in their 60s. I remember there was kids whose dads were in their 60s when I was in school, and I thought, that's fucking weird. And I have a long time to go till that, but it has to go.
You don't. You're closer to 60 than you are 30. You're the Aaron Rodgers of this parent group.
You're only like 2 years younger than me. What are you talking about?
Well, no. Don't swing this back onto me, my beautiful gray beard. Okay.
So there you go. Welcome back, everybody. 918. Here we are, episode 918. Screaming towards the 1000th show coming up later this year, looking right around July, some point, Mikey, in that 5-year mark. Very excited about those things. A few more things before we do get rolling. I do want to talk about, Mike, just wrapping up other sports. UFL football starts off March 27th, which is a Friday. If you guys are ready for some football, if you're having your football withdrawals, if you will, the UFL is starting on Friday, March 27, and then also, like, the ladies, the Pittsburgh Passion, they start at the end of April 25th, and they'll be kicking it off. So that is the scoop in all the other sports. Real quick, it is Santonio Holmes's birthday, Mike, just one day after Big Ben Roethlisberger's birthday. The two that were certainly a topic, Mike, in Super Bowl 43. Birthdays are just one day apart. I like to wish a happy birthday to number 10.
Number 10.
And finally, Mike, I go on and on. These Styles boys at Ohio State, I go on and on about their dad all the time. And people probably think, oh, yeah, whatever. You were young and the dude was good at football. I have a picture real quick before we get rolling. I have a picture I want to share with you guys. This is Lorenzo Styles that was playing football when I was in school. Here, Mike's going to put a picture up where he's with his two sons that are both hoping to go early in the NFL draft this year, Sonny and Lorenzo. This is Dad that played for the Farrell Steelers when I was growing up. Take a look in the middle of this picture right here. Look at this cat. Look at his arms. Are those his kids or are those his biceps? What's going on?
Right. The dude is huge. Speaking of huge, my face is huge in this profile, but that dude, he looks like he can still play.
Look at his boys. They're NFL sized guys. They're going to go to the NFL and they're going to be fine. Look at Dad. Look at Lorenzo Styles. This is senior. This is the guy that was unstoppable in the early 90s, and he played like a man amongst boys. And there he is, no different, Mike. 35 years later, looking good. As you said, he looks like he could still play pretty well in the NFL, which he did play in the NFL for quite some time as a linebacker for Atlanta and New Orleans. John said he does have a pinhead. His head is uncharacteristically small compared to the rest of his body. Which, Mike, I can't say that for you, but let's get ready to get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Let me jump on the board here. Glad to see everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. And John, good afternoon to you, sir, all the way out in Las Vegas. Great to see you, man. We did beat the Las Vegas Golden Knights the other night. The Pittsburgh Penguins did 5-0. They are looking damn good. Let me get on the board, though. Welcome, everybody. Tortilla Jackson says, morning, Yinzers. Pretend I said something funny. We did. If you missed that, you missed out. We all laughed. We all laughed at Tortilla. RB says, what's up, guys? No notification this morning. F YouTube. Mike, I sent 2 more things over to your email. If I need to slow down some. No, dude, keep them coming.
No. And yes, I was going to make that announcement today, but yes, 2 more articles up.
Oh, man, I love it. I love these guys.
Webpage over at the2dumyinzers.com. I was checking out the numbers, man. It was popping off yesterday. People were swinging by. So, yeah, there's 2 more fresh articles up today. Check it out.
That's amazing. I got to be honest with you, Mike. I love these guys. If I could say this without sounding gay in the most ungay way, I love these new guys. I'm talking about RB. I'm talking about Chop. The amount of work that they're doing so far, it's great. And they know their shit. And I got to be honest with you. We got to make a report card here, like how the Steelers had their failing report card, because I'm ready to give out grades. I'm ready to grade my staff, and I got to be honest with you. I'm very, very, very thrilled with what RB and Chop are bringing to the table. I can't wait till they get more involved and everybody and get on screen and get them introduced to everybody. They deserve it. These guys they know their stuff.
They're killing it. They're killing it.
I love it. Keep them coming, brother. Great job, RB. Cody says this. Did I just hear Mike say Penn State is going to be fun to watch this year? I don't know. Did you?
Penn State wrestling is going to be is always fun to watch. Indiana Hoosier football is a blast.
Speaking of Indiana Hoosier football, Fernando Mendoza and our backup quarterback, Will Howard, was been working out lately, Mike, together. What do you think?
It's they're hanging out with what the little Chucky doll dude, are they
with Gruden?
Gruden, yeah, thank you. I forgot his name. Yeah, hanging out with Gruden, and that doesn't move the needle for me with Will Howard. I saw that. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Will Howard, he's a pro. He's out there working. He's always working on his game.
You know, he's a guy working in the offseason with other guys. You know, my issue with Howard is, everybody that keeps shitting on him, we haven't even seen him play. Just let the kid play. You got to let him play. Come on. Let him play. Let's see. Also going on the terrible board today, I do want to say Tortilla says this. YouTube has been asked lately, but I can't seem to get off this app. Something going on.
YouTube is very, very finicky too.
Something must be going on with YouTube. That's the second comment so far about YouTube. We apologize if there are any issues. Cody says, I've been a Yankee fan since '95. I've been to New York to watch games. The Pirates too. To me have always felt like a very cheap team. Looking from far, I've never watched their games. They are like the Athletics, a farm team. And you know what's so sad about that, Cody? Everybody that's in your generation that's the only way they're ever gonna think of the Pirates. The Pirates used to be one of the best. I mean, they had 5 World Series by the end of the 70s. The big walk-off home run, Bill Mazeroski over the Yankees in 1960. 2 World Series wins over the Orioles in the 70s. The Roberto Clementes, Willie Stargels, and then it seemed like after that 90s team got tore apart, Mike, it just never rebounded. And like I said, it's unfortunate for younger sports fans because who knows if they'll ever see a good Pirates team again. Yeah. I think this one's looking better than usual, but again, at the end of the day, I feel that. I know exactly what you're saying, Cody. It's unfortunate. Hopefully they get one together for you.
Hopefully, too, because like you said, man, like the Pirates were like a storied franchise at one point. Not as historic as like the Yankees. You won all those World Series back in the 20s and 30s and 40s, but they were a very relevant franchise all the way up through the 90s. And then we saw what happened, man. Once you couldn't have owners to spend any money, we became a laughing stock of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, Mike. Again, we are one of the smallest markets. Pittsburgh is very small. Money being paid out is different here. And again, with the revenue sharing, once the owners start getting paid their money, Mike, and they already have money in hand, they have to make that decision, the risk factors to spend and bring in players, try to make more money, or sit on the money we already have and just kind of keep doing what we're already doing. Hopefully, we're seeing a turning of the page in that department. I do want to say good afternoon to Chad Schrader. What's up, brother? He says, what's up, Ryan and Mike? Always great to see you, Chad. Hope you're having a great day so far, dude. It is March 3rd. We are a week away, Mike, less than a week away from the tampering period for the NFL free agency, just a little over a week away for the free agency, which starts on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. A lot to get into. We're going to look at free agencies. We're going to look at free agents today. Our list here in Pittsburgh. I got some inside, and not some inside scoop, but maybe some rumors, things that might be already in play with the Steelers. Mike, we'll talk about that. A whole bunch of stuff going on today. Cody says, "How old is your son?" Yeah, he's grounded. I don't. He's going to be in his room for quite some time. Tortilla says, should have said, look at this money. Back to, you know what I'm saying? Tortilla says, I went back and looked at some older Dum Yinzers pods, was like, holy shit, Ryan has a face. I'm gonna have to dig some old pictures up just to show people I have a face. I think people think that I'm really old. And you know what? My beard is unusually colored for my age. I mean, don't get me wrong, people in their 40s have gray, but look at me. Look at my hair color. And look at my beard. That's uncharacteristic. I mean, that's unusual.
Just embrace it, dude. Just embrace the gray. I like my beard. I used to cringe every time I would like notice it on the show or in the mirror, like of how gray it's gotten recently. Now I'm just embracing the
that's
gray.
Because you work with me. No wonder.
My gray looks better than yours.
No wonder you're. This is a beard. This right here is a beard. And you know what started this beard? It was P.
Yes,
P. Morton from like a year and a half or 2 years on the show, all the way over in Japan. He was making a mockery of my beard, and I said, "You know what?" He goes, "Nice beard, Ryan." And I looked at it, and it was actually really dumb looking. And I never stopped. I never shaved ever since.
You didn't too. I remember that. It was probably like a week after. Like I haven't shaved my beard because of Pete.
You think that the people on the show has no effect on me? Look, this is how I look because of somebody you in the show.
Start messaging these guys on the side, like if there's something about the behavior about you that I need changed, I'll just let them bring it up in a negative light.
Cody says, Mike, when you drop him off, blast some old school music when they open the door. They get embarrassed. My kids get so mad. Teach them to do it again. Maybe that's what I got to do. I got to embarrass them. I think I got to do it again tomorrow. I got to come up with a good way to embarrass them. Tortilla. Lorenzo looks like the Black Duke Nukem.
He does. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yes. What a monster. He wore number 1. And it was the Farrell Steelers. They were intimidating. They had all black uniforms. And there he came down the path with that big number 1 on his jersey, man. It was something to see back in the day. Just so much bigger than everybody else. Cody says, I have my son and daughter lifting weights already. That's pretty awesome, dude. That's pretty awesome. I have some friends that do the same thing, and hopefully it works out great for you guys. Maybe get the growth hormones starting at an early age and turn into one of them freaks, man. Remember, like them kids in high school that already have grown up bodies. Maybe that's what they do. They start them early. I don't know. certainly wasn't me. Let's go to what's going on. What's up, Sommer? Always great seeing you. He says, "What's going on, fuckers?" Steel. Oh, here he is. John, what's up, dude? Big John Stud. Middle name, Mud. Always great to see you on the terrible board. Big John says that Mike has a Macy's Day float head. That I couldn't agree more with. That, Mike, I couldn't agree more with. You have a Macy's Day float head.
Well, it's too weird too, because in the profile, the camera that we have right now, which is going to change because my new computer's coming today, my head looks extremely large. The way it's profiled and everything. Like, it bugs me. Like, how big my fucking dome looks.
You know what? It's not that bad. It's your forehead.
The forehead's my entire head.
Your forehead, you're like a hammerhead shark. Look at you. Your forehead. Turn to the side, kind of like a profile a little bit. There you go. No, a little bit back. Go back. Right there. Look how big your forehead is.
I know, it's fucking gigantic. Like, my jaw, like, everything looks like so fucking huge to me. I'm like, it's weird. And the way, like, my beard grows, it feels like my whole mouth is like shifted one direction. It's just it bugs me the way I look on camera some days. But, like, I think my dome is shining beautifully, so I like that. I got a nice little shine going on. I'm looking like I this is the best I look all day, every day. It's just like this moment right here when I'm staring directly at the camera. I'm staring into Tortilla's soul.
You're a mess. John says that you have a 5 head.
This is at least a 15 head. I'm doing my best, Makai Lemon.
All right, guys, let's do a move on the board here. Somber says champions doing champion things. Shy Guy Fly, I do want to say welcome to the terrible board. Welcome to the show, Shy Fly Guy. Nice to have you. Nice to see you. Shy Fly Guy says this. What's the wide receiver you all think we should target? I'm hoping for Lemon, Tyson, Concepcion, or Cooper Jr. Yes.
Yeah. Like, my two right now are Makai Lemon and Omar Cooper Jr. Those are like the two I really want, one of those two. Like, Tyson, I love his game, but he has never played a full season of college football. He's just one of those guys who's always banged up, and I don't want to take that guy in the first round. Love his game.
Somber says I could probably list about 15 that I wouldn't mind drafting, and that's the thing. Here's my thought, guys. It's not going to make sense to me until next week's over, or at least we get into next week, because at the end of the day, they're doing a really good job smoke screening what they're going to do. I think that they are, Mike. Again, only talking to like one guard or no guards, or how many. It was a very minimal amount of guards. When the fact of the matter is, we're not going to have a left guard more than likely here probably next week. And again, you know, the receivers, of course, the big talk going into 2 seasons without a wide receiver, obviously, and just some of the other holes that we have, Mike. And it's hard to have this conversation, at least before free agency, because once you can see what they're tackling in free agency, and then you get a better idea of what the draft itself is going to bring. And it's difficult at this point until you get through next week. Then you get an idea, because you're like, oh, they went out and got a guard in free agency, and that's what they were planning on doing. And you see that they put together a 3-5 year, whatever the deal is, and then it gives you a better idea on how that they're going to handle that, Mike. And then you can start again looking at the draft. But again, any one of those receivers, Mike, in my opinion, I think, and I don't know if it's national media. I don't know which media it is, but somebody's driving Makai. They're trying to drive Makai Lemon down with this narrative of his interviews the other day, Mike. And this was said: when executives leave a meeting uneasy, the word spreads quickly. And this was regarding Makai Lemon's interviewing process at the combine. So it might not have just been the one video that everybody's talking about. Maybe this is an ongoing thing, Mike, with Makai Lemon.
You know, his penance should be he has to sit in the green room until pick 21. I think that's fair punishment. I'd draft the kid. Like, from all reports, like, never an issue at USC at all. Like, the model student, the model athlete, the model teammate, the guy you want in your locker room, the guy when he's between the lines, he may be only 5'11", but one of the better contested catchers in all of college football. I want this guy. I want him. I don't care if he's a nut, but he seems like the kind of nut that's just a nut, there's just a weird dude going through life and doesn't do anything to hurt anyone or himself or the team. Give me that kind of
Wasn't
nut.
that what they were saying about Caleb? What is all these guys coming out of USC that are just nuts, that are who just living life and not
Yeah,
caring and bothering anybody? It's that
if they're
California
a little weird,
mental
I don't give a fuck.
mentality.
Can they produce? That's all I care about.
In regards to that, Mike, Pittsburgh made it clear they do not intend to babysit potential headaches anymore. So again, that is interesting if you're trying to figure out what it is the Steelers are looking to do in the draft, specifically the first round. As he did say, Mike, as Shy Guy Fly made on the comment, there's about 4 guys right off the top that, yes, I would love to have each and every one of these guys, and we will have our draft guys real soon. If you do want to see what the draft guys Chop and Barley have to say, go check out the website, www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. The newly assembled draft team, Mike, has been putting up mad articles over there. Go check it out. A lot of good stuff, a lot of predictions, and a lot of how they think this is going to play out. And I'm going to be honest with you, Mike, keeping up with their work, I'm very excited to see them continue on doing what they're doing. Very, very excited. The guys are doing great. Let's go to this. Somber says I could probably list 15. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I know.
Like, the thing is, I'm trying not to fall in love with any of these receivers, because if we somehow get someone via trade or free agency, I got to temper my expectations of, okay, we're probably not going to get one of them in the first round. So I got to be willing to let them go, and we fill in somewhere else, another position of need.
Mike, is it safe to say that, I mean, here's another speculation, of course, the Aaron Rodgers thing is ongoing. Is it safe to say that we're not going after a quarterback in round 1? Of course, for a year and a half. Well, let's wait till next year's draft. Oh, you know what? The draft in Pittsburgh is coming next year. We'll get our quarterback then. Here it is, Mike, a situation to potentially be kicking the can down the road even further. PFF, Mike, they came out and did their post-combine mock draft, and they have us grabbing Ty Simpson at number 21. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we have far more bigger holes to deal with, Mike, than to worry about who could potentially be the quarterback, who might not even be, he may be good, he may not be good. You already have a Will Howard. I just don't think the quarterback is even, I think that's a no-brainer anymore. But the last couple years leading up to this, Mike, we're going to get our guy. We're going to get our guy. But here we are one more time getting ready to run it back, more than likely with Aaron. And so, again, this is why I like to wait till at least we get through next week to see what it is that the needs are, what it is they plan on dealing with through via free agency, and then also via the draft, Mike. And that's again, but a lot of people do. They jump on it, and Mike, you got your mock drafts up every Monday. Again, check that out over on the website as well. And but it's in all reality, it's tough to do to at least till you get into free agency season. And again, the tampering period starts on Monday at noon, and free agency itself starts at 4:00 on Wednesday, Mike. All next week, getting ready.
Yeah, because with free agency, man, that roster starts getting flushed out. Then you can see, okay, where are my actual immediate needs now in the draft? Where do I need a young impact player? And then you can kind of figure out that's where we're going to go first round. Because like last year, it was really wide receiver, corner, and D-line were the big three that we needed. And with all those D linemen out there, like it kind of, I just had that feeling like we were going D-line first round, and we did. And, I'm not going to say I'm awesome, I'm smart, and I'm right, but I'm just going to say what I said happened. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Let's move forward here, Mike. Let's go to Somber. And Somber, you know what? He wasn't lying. He said in the previous text, he said this in the previous message, I could probably list 15 I wouldn't mind drafting. And then he named them. Let's check it out,
named
Somber.
like 45 of them.
That's all right. That's all right.
He can get a lot of those guys first, second, third, fourth round.
Let's get through the guys first. Let's see what we got on the list here. He has Tate, Lemon, Tyson, Chris Bell, Cooper Jr., Bernard, Malachi Fields, Skylar Bell, CJ Daniels, Stribling, McAllister, Jacoby Lane, Bryce Lance, Ted Hurst, Chase Roberts, Jeff Caldwell, and Colby Young. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah. I would love, my dream scenario is to get both USC receivers. I think Jacoby Lane is very underrated at this point. I think Chop and RB in our group chat, we were talking about him, and like he's one of those guys. Like I want him to fly under the radar. He's tall, looks a little lanky, but runs so smooth. He has great hands. Like you get him, you get Lemon in the first round. You can Jacoby Lane. Hopefully, he falls to like the third. To me, that's the dream scenario with it. You and then that second round pick, you get either a guard, corner, or safety. And for me, those three picks right there would be a absolute home run. I love him some Jacoby Lane.
Let me ask you this, Mike. Some of all these names that were named, and again, I just mentioned we just talked about. It's very unlikely that the Steelers take a quarterback. Certainly early in this draft. I mean, come on, that's a push at this point, Mike. But these three quarterbacks were said to have positive meetings with the Steelers at the combine. Of course, Ty Simpson, your guy Drew Aller, and then Beck. Mike, did any of these three guys land on the Steelers in mid to later rounds, just because they're still lingering around in the Steelers, get their guard, the Steelers get their receivers that they're happy with? If any of these guys are still hanging around, Mike, is there a chance they can grab one of these guys off the shelf later, mid to late rounds?
I think so, and I think the biggest one would be Aller.
A lot of Aller talk
because
lately.
Aller, he has that look, and he has some good tape out there, but also some bad tape. But to where that bad tape, you can look at it and go, "Oh man, if I can just get my hands on this kid," and that's why I think he might. It would not surprise me if someone takes him early second round, like a coach going, "I can mold this kid into something special," and they're going to reach on him, like someone reached on, like the Jets reached on Christian Hackenberg a few years ago. I can see that. Like he's like what 6'5", 230, 240 in that range. Has a cannon for an arm. A coach out there and a GM out there going to be like, if we get our hands on him, we can mold him. And I think he's going way earlier than people suspect.
That's interesting. And again, with all the names out there,
I
Mike,
hope he does well. But like from what I've seen at Penn State, I just never seen him get better. Now, was that him or was that the entire coaching field up there in that situation? We don't know.
very interesting, and again, that's the name that certainly picked up momentum. It was talked about almost in a laughing way to a certain point, and then just recently, Mike, it's turned into picked up a little momentum with that Drew Aller again. Beck in all these championship games. Simpson's been a big name, but you're saying if something eventually comes along and he's still sitting out there available at the draft, Drew Aller is a good possibility.
Like if he's sitting there in the fourth round. Like I'm talking like the tail end, like pick 99 that we're projected to have. If they would take him then, I'm like fine, because at that point you've already picked four guys that you think are going to be 4 or 5 guys that are, by that point I think we already had like 4 picks in, 5 picks in that you think are going to be starters. Take a flyer right there, okay, whatever. I won't be hating it because he won't be picked that much higher than Will Howard was. So it won't be this big back and forth battle between Penn State Steeler fans and Ohio State Steeler fans. But I just think, it's this time of the year too, man. Quarterbacks that have been talked shit on all year, all of a sudden you start seeing them rising up the draft boards because what's the sexiest position? Quarterback. What's going to push clicks? What's going to push video views? It's going to be quarterback. So the NFL media is going to start pushing these guys big time.
And Sommer continues with his list. Mike, he says Josh Cameron, Caitlin Wedgen, and any of those I'd be happy with. Cody says P. Morton and Joey B have been MIA. Joey B. Who was Joey B? I can't remember. But I know sometimes it's different timing, obviously, in Japan. And I know that he gets home and he's ready for bed. And he's already had a few drinks, so he just tunes in. He doesn't really comment. But I suspect P is here more often than we know. Freaking huge, Somber said your forehead, Mike. And then, of course, John said you have a 5 head. I was thinking more of a 6 or 7 head. But, hey, Aaron J, there it is. Let's go Steelers with the Rockets, baby. How you doing, man? I hope you're having a great Tuesday. Yeah, you just made my day with that message. Always great seeing you, Aaron. Hope things are going well, dude. Tortilla says I'm going bald. I'm just enjoying the precious time I have left.
As you should.
As you should. John says,
once it's gone, it's never coming back.
John says, where I come from, guys that are well-liked get their balls busted. Hey, usually. Somber says they're really trying to give Makai the Shador treatment. That's what not so extreme, but it's there, right? I'm getting it kind of, but I don't see it turning out the way that it turned out for Shador Sanders.
There's always that one guy that gets targeted for something at the combine that they're going to try and push down the draft board. Like a few years ago, it was C.J. Stroud. Apparently, he was illiterate.
He was
is
dumb.
what they were trying to make it out to be.
They said he couldn't read.
To talk. I'm like, what?
Right.
Where would you get this from? There's always that one guy. And I remember years ago, the day of the draft, the video was posted of Lamar Tunsil, like his stepdad posted a video of him doing the gas mask bong. Yeah. That caused him to drop out of the top 10. There's always something. Someone screwing someone over in the draft.
Next on the board, Mike, is Corey from Don't Drink That. Corey Beavers from the Conspiracy Theory podcast, Mike. Always great seeing Corey. Go check his podcast out right here on YouTube, guys. Don't Drink That. If you like conspiracies and government-type cover-ups, UFOs, go check him out. Corey Beavers over Don't Drink That right here on YouTube. I love it. I love his show. A lot of content if you're into conspiracy theories. I do want to say what's up to Corey. Hope things are going well for you, my man. He says this. What's up, fellas? So late. Sorry so late I can't keep track. You're good, man. You're good. You be here. Better late than never. Somber says with the T-Mac treatment, people said T-Mac didn't interview well, and he won the Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Let's go to Steeler Freak. The Steelers are tired of having an insane asylum for a locker room. Boy, we have a knack, don't we? We have a knack. Say what you want about AB, but he ended up being a nut. Chase Claypool was a nut. George Pickens was a nut. Why not? Why not go out and get the guy that's that they're warning people about? But I don't know. It seeseems like the Steeler way.
It's probably the Steelers leaking it out that this guy's a nut because they want him to fall, right. And then they can just be like, "Oh my God, we drafted the nut," and all the while they're just laughing in the background.
Cody says maybe he's bombing to not get picked by the Browns or one of those other teams. Speaking of which, jumping outside of the organization for just a moment, the Ravens, Mike, the possibility of them picking up Max Crosby has been running across the ticker lately. Again, we have free agency coming up next week. Whatever they do in Baltimore, they have to fix that defense because it was
big time
terrible. As both the Bengals and the Browns found ways to have a victory over us, as we split with both of those squads, we managed to beat the Ravens both times, and the defense was pathetic. And if they don't fix that defense, they're going to have big problems. I don't care who they have on offense, Mike. It was very, very, very porous.
Yeah, and I was just reading an article today that their big D tackle, Manabuke, he has a bad neck injury that he might not ever come back from. Wow. So he was a centerpiece of their defense. I think he played one game last year, or 2 games, and he's their big nose tackle. So they need a lot of help on D. And if they get Max Crosby, like that would be a huge swing for him. But damn, paying him, paying Lamar, paying Derrick Henry, that's a lot of draft capital just for 3 guys who haven't won anything.
And also, Mike, David Montgomery, making his way from Detroit to Houston. Houston, of course, padding their offense a little bit with the skills of Montgomery. Those few things are happening also around the league right now. Yeah, go ahead.
And that one scratches my head. It makes sense for the Lions. Like he's not their number 1, but he's a great number 2 up there. And it makes sense for Texans to get him. But what the Texans gave up, again, they traded 2 offensive linemen in the same day, and their offensive line sucks year over year. And like, why do you keep getting rid of people? It's insane what the Texans are doing down there. It's like 1 foot forward, 2 feet back. It makes no sense.
Sommer says, I would imagine being drafted by the Jets.
All right.
There's only one person that ever had that conversation that actually turned into a success, and was Joe Namath.
Right.
Everybody else has to have horror stories that were drafted by the Jets. Tortilla says, rather get drafted to the A's. Somber says, I swear Jacoby Lane plays with pine tar on his gloves. And maybe he could share some of his secrets with DK. Some of the drops,
Go back and just pull up his combine footage of doing the gauntlet drill where they run across the
DK's?
No, Jacoby Lane.
Okay.
They did
I did see it.
Run from sideline to sideline, and he is just snatching those balls out of the air, and they does look like he has like just super glue or stick him on his hands. He is a beast. I liked him before the combine, and I'm loving him even more after it.
And he follows it up by saying great hands as well. Mark Malone, what's up, dude? Always great seeing the great Mark Malone on the terrible board. Mark Malone says Robertson, Beck, or Aller. Mark Malone says Beck has that look. Yeah, what, like a sloth?
He has the look of being lost.
Yeah. He looks like he's psychotic. But you know what? So does Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, though, man, the talent is used off the tape when you watched him play.
What's up?
You can just tell Joe Burrow had it when you watched him play.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just
down at LSU. He was just.
I'm just thinking, poor guy stuck in Cincinnati.
No, right?
It was what was the word I'm looking for? I wept. I just had to weep a bit. Mark Malone, I'm sorry. What's up, dude? Always great seeing Tater Tart. He's in the house.
Hello?
All the way from the great United Kingdom. He's not Scottish. He's not English. He's Irish.
Northern Irish.
He is, of course, the resident Browns fan. He lingers like a hemorrhoid. Just doesn't go away.
He doesn't. I think deep down inside, he's a real Steeler fan.
I think so too. And who comes from Ireland and is a Browns fan? It's illogical.
It really does make zero sense.
And considering the Browns have not won the division since 1988 or 87 or whatever it was, the late 80s, it's really illogical. What age group are you, Tater? I'm just interested to know. Mark Malone says, how you doing there, Car Bomber? Also,
come on now.
I don't get the joke. What's the joke?
The violence that Ireland had and Northern Ireland had against each other, and I think England too, like the Irish car bombs over IRA, they were blowing up cars and
is
all that
this
stuff.
What's going on with you, Tater? But yeah, they are violent. I do have to say the Irish are violent. Remember last week, I played the phone call that I made to Tater, and his dad was yelling at him. I'm like, this was what I got over the weekend. Now, this is from a friend of Tater. Take a minute just to listen to this message on my answering machine.
Do you honestly think you're fucking funny fucking with my friend? You're a fucking ugly little cunt, mate, and if I ever see you, I'm gonna fucking slit your fucking face wide open, yeah? So go and fuck yourself. Go and fucking crawl in the dirty, dank little hole where you fucking come from, you dirty, dragon-eating little fucking spastic.
That is from Tater Tot's friend Jan. His friend Jan left this message on my answering machine over the weekend. I didn't know what to do, but considering that he's across the pond, I think I'll be all right. There's Tater Tot. So if you had any question, is he capable of car bombing or any violent natured actions, Mike? I think that message cleared things up for us.
I think so too. I think see, this is why I'm always nice to Tater.
And then they got Skylar Thompson got junked there. Come on, who gets jumped when they go to Ireland? That's crazy. But they're a little crazier than we think they are. I think that's because they're always drunk. They drink beer for breakfast.
And what's wrong with that?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just explaining what's going on.
I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking beer for breakfast.
Neither do I. As a matter of fact, I love drinking beer for breakfast.
100% on board with drinking.
That's not the point. The point is we're poking fun at Tater Tart.
Yeah, I know we're poking fun at him, but I gotta kind of stick up for him at that point.
All right. Way to carry the conversation. Let me move forward. Tyrone, he said, "What's up, dude? Always great seeing the GOAT Tyrone on the terrible board. My man, he is the GOAT. He says JPJ is the GOAT. Just learning. What's up, dude? He said, somber, smart dude. Tyrone said, let's go. What's up, dude? Always great seeing you. I hope everything is going well for you because in a little over a month, Ty, is going to be the big draft. And I hope these guys are still making the trek over to Pittsburgh from West Ohio. It's going to be a blast to hang out with the GOAT down at the draft. If anybody's making it into town or going down from in town, we will be down there with Duquesne Pilsner, partying it up as the draft is going on. Can't wait, Mike. Just a little over a month away. We're in March. We are in March already, believe it or not. So it won't be long now.
I can't wait for the draft. It's going to be a good time.
Tater says this, you guys want this guy, you guys want that guy. They don't want you. Yeah, it's because everybody wants to go to Cleveland. That's
Cleveland's the hot destination, man.
That's the plan. Everybody wants to go to Cleveland. Let's go to right here to Tortilla. I heard the Browns want Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker and Deshaun Watson? That's interesting, Mike.
That is very interesting. I think that organization could make it happen, and I think it would be the best move for the organization right there.
And they don't even have
both those guys in one place. And I think the NFL would like it too. They would know where to focus all their NFL security.
And they could just give each other hand jobs, give each other happy
endings. Like in math, when two negatives cancel each other out, become positive. Those two together, they'll be jerking each other off, and all the massage parlors in the greater Cleveland area will be safe.
That's what I'm saying. You're saving the world from the. I don't even know why all this stuff is against the law or looked at bad, but you're saving the world against something, Mike. I don't know, deviant sexuality, perhaps. Let's go with that. With that being said, let's move forward here a little bit. I'm going to go to right here. Tyrone says, "Sorry, I'm late. I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm off. Couldn't sleep. Slept on. And you're good, man. You haven't been feeling well. Get better. We gotta have you healthy for next month." Somber says, "Tyrone living his best life." Also, Somber says, "For your information, the Seabirds are not tagging K9. He'll be unrestricted free agent at the start of the league year." That's interesting, Mike. He looked great in the Super Bowl, man. Love to have somebody like him.
He's a beast. Then Jalen can slot into like the Kenny G role of being the third, more or less like the third down back. You're catching back. I would like that. That'd be a good pickup.
We are going to be bringing out the free agency list here shortly, guys. We're going to get into the list today a little bit, talk about stuff as we are coming up again Monday, the tampering period Wednesday. Free agency does kick off the new NFL year, and people with faces are going to be moving and names are going to be in new places. I absolutely love this point of the year, Mike. No matter what sport it is, I've just always been a fan of seeing players move around the league. It's just a fun part of sports for me. Let's jump back on the board right here where Corey is saying this. Corey, Don't Drink That says, "I can understand if we have a psycho locker room, our receivers keep getting past their prime quarterbacks to throw them the ball. You have top talent having their best years wasted on patchwork seasons." And here's the thing. In theory, Mike, as we always say, you're just going to try to get the best players at those positions. And people will say, well, you don't have a quarterback. But let's just say next year comes around, just hypothetically, and we see the kid that we like coming out of college. Yeah. And then you could bring him in and kind of ease him in because you have a good team around you. You don't have to, you don't have to be a 23-year-old kid who's getting his ass beat every Sunday. Yep. If you have a nice system, a nice situation for him, then you could take that quarterback and kind of ease him into the spot. And he has weapons, and he has he's not going to be in the same position that we've been in recently. And I don't even want to go through the names because they all have different situations. But they've never really had a good array of wide receivers, Mike. Even back to Kenny, say what you want, Mitch Trubisky, Mason, everybody, Mike, that's been here trying this quarterback thing since Ben left. There has never been a great situation. Yes, we had George Pickens at one point. He was going to make amazing catches, but you had nobody opposite side of him. You bring in DK Metcalf. Now it's like it's starting to get interesting. You send GP out. Now DK's playing with nobody opposite side of him, nobody of value. So again, if you get those pieces in place as you're maybe you have a sight on your quarterback. Maybe you have somebody that you're checking out for next year, and you're like, okay, well, if we get this together, have him a nice receiver, have his offensive line fixed, so he's not getting his backside blown out on Sunday afternoons, and yada yada yada. Then you could go in and just focus next year confidently on what it is and who it is that you want at quarterback. Who knows? They might have something in there. And at the end of the day, they're humans, and why wouldn't they have plans? Why aren't they looking down the road? Maybe they do see somebody next year's draft, Mike, that they like, or the 2 or 3 guys they have an eye on. But it's in a sense, people always say, well, why bring him in? You don't have this. Well, you're never going to get it if we don't start the process. At some point, you're going to have to bring receivers here, because if you ever want a quarterback or anybody to come here to play quarterback, they're going to want to have receivers to throw to. So again, it all plays, in theory, it should all play hand in hand as you're trying to build this team back up. And again, maybe the different minds, philosophies, everything coming in with all the new coaches that, maybe we'll start to make that turn. But in my opinion, you don't ever stop building, unless you're a ransacked team that just has nothing going. I don't think the Steelers are at that point, Mike. Even when the Patriots were 4-13 last year, they would have been considered that. but look what they did. They didn't let it fall apart. They continued to try to put the pieces in place that they need to win. And I think that's ultimately what you need to do in today's NFL. That's just the way this ball rolls.
Well, you go back to when the Steelers drafted Big Ben. Like, the team was in place. We were just missing
Absolutely.
quarterback. And you look at teams that historically and consistently draft within like the top 10. You look at their rosters, there's talent holes. They're devoid of talent everywhere. Then they go, oh, we're going to go get our quarterback, and then we'll build. When you look at teams that are normally successful, they build the team, and then they get their quarterback. So their quarterback's ready to go in a good situation. Why do a lot of good young quarterbacks fail early in their careers? Because they're drafted to bad teams. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Geno Smith as another prime example.
Look at every quarterback that comes out of high-pick quarterback that comes out of college, Mike, that it's not in the league anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, are these guys, are they all bums, or are they the product of playing for a terrible team who has nothing going on, and it just doesn't work out for them, unfortunately? I mean, how many great...
A lot of it is you're going to bad organizations, and you don't have an infrastructure around you. You don't even have it. Your offensive line is the Jerseyling shits. Then they go, okay, we'll build an offensive line around you. Oh, we'll eventually get you weapons. Like, no, smart organizations constantly rebuild their roster, replenish depth, at wide receiver, O-line, D-line, running backs. So when, hey, when my quarterback's gone, we can put him in there. And like for the Steelers, we had talent. We just could never find the quarterback. And now, just get back to upgrading that talent. So when you do have a quarterback in there, it doesn't have to be the best quarterback to get us eventually to where we want to be. Where if you can have a game manager, it's proven you can win a lot of games with a game manager. If you get a lot of talent at wide receiver and running back, if you just have a quarterback who can get the ball out of their hands and play smart situational awareness football, you can win a lot of games. These guys can put up a shit ton of numbers. It's doable, but you just have to build the roster and get a quarterback who can manage the game. Because, franchise quarterbacks are they're not a dime a dozen. There's, like Ryan always says, there's like 5 at a time that you would consider truly great quarterbacks going, and then there's a bunch of guys after them. And we got lucky to get one guy that was here for 18 years. That was one of those 5.
I have to intervene for just a moment. I want to welcome Thomas Org on the board, Mike. And the reason I'm cutting ahead a little bit, I usually don't cut in line, but I just want to note that the very first person that welcomed him in was Tater.
Oh God!
And Tater was like, "Hi, Thomas," with a "Go Browns." Just let me clear the air, please, if I can. Tater is like a hemorrhoid. He is a Browns fan. He somehow ended up here right around when we played the Browns last year in the last season, and he's just been hanging around like a hemorrhoid. And you know what? We like Tater. Don't get me wrong. He's a fun guy. He's a fun person to mess with. But he's from the United Kingdom, and he's a Browns fan. So I'm just warning you, Thomas. I do want to say welcome to the show, welcome to the Terrible Board. But I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up about that Tater. He's when you move to a new town, and everybody's like, "Hey, watch out for this guy," or you get a new job, and everyone's like, don't hang out with this one. We're just kind of, I'm not saying don't talk to him. I'm just saying that's Tater. Everybody else is not Tater, but I just wanted to give you that heads up. Thomas, welcome to the show. All right, Mike, now let's get back to football. Here we go. I'm going to jump on the board. I don't want to get too far behind today. Let's start right here with Somber. I'm assuming we'll hear about Gainwell with all this, all this running back talk. And I do want to say, Mike, one of our guys did get some scoop this morning. And I trust this guy. I haven't heard it, but again, this was the scoop that I got this morning. That Jonnu Smith is paperwork is already in motion, Mike, to have him released to whatever capacity that is. According to our correspondent, he had said within the next 2 or 3 days, Jonnu Smith should be gone. Again, just right ahead of the free agency that does start next week, Mike. So again, a possibility of Jonnu Smith not making it to the end of the week. Mike, I don't think this is a surprise to anybody. When you're trying to look at players who you'd like to keep, who you don't mind leaving, this is a guy that certainly falls into that category for me. I didn't expect him to be here any longer. And if he is here longer moving forward, I'm definitely not thrilled with that move.
Yeah, it makes sense to cut him because you're going to end up saving a $7 million back in cap space. You're getting back. You're taking out like a $3.8 million dead cap hit. So that's a no brainer right there. You're saving a lot of money against the cap by letting him go. And again, that contract was a 2-year deal and another Omar great contract. Like, hey, either you produce or you're gone. And you didn't produce this contract. We're free and clear. For $3.5 million here, go away. Now we have an extra $7 million to add to our already, $44 million, or $43 million in cap space. So now we have like $50 million in cap space to spend. Like, and there's going to be this team, we talked about last year, the amount of new starters that we had. Like this year can come close to a lot of new guys on this team rivaling last year, just the way these contracts are designed to, like, either you're performing or you're gone.
I couldn't agree more, Mike. Let's move forward. Tyrone says, can't wait for free agency. And just think this time next week we'll be smack dab in the middle of pretty much everything, waiting, Mike, for the official start on Wednesday. But again, a lot of communications are going to be happening Monday as the tampering period does start. Let's go to Tortilla. He says, Tater from the hood. Tater from the hood. Somber says, fucking shank stick in it. Fucking shank stick in it, mate. RB says, don't know if I'm overstepping my bounds by going off the draft, but never, bro. You're a draft specialist, but come on. You bring a lot to the table. RB says, but I sent over an article about a potential under the radar free agent wide receiver target as a player piece. Yeah, we certainly will check it out. Keep it coming, dude. Great work.
I must have missed that one. I got to go back and take a look. Or did I probably posted them both? No, there it is. I like it.
Mark Malone says they actually get violent when they run out of booze. They get violent when they run out of booze. Again, talking about the Irish. Don't drink that, said these idiots don't realize how resilient Americans are. Also, Tater says, we're violent. We are violent. We are violent, especially if you steal our alcohol. That makes sense. So is Mike. Let's go to... Yeah.
You got me there. You got me in a box.
I had you backed in a corner. There was nothing you could said. Isaiah Coach, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Isaiah Coach on the terrible board. Isaiah Coach says 2,000 Yankees, 2,000 Mets. Was that the Subway Series? Was that 2,000? I know it was really early in the 2000s. I know it was either 2000 or 2001, but the Subway Series I was actually a big fan of because when I was a kid, Mike, I leaned toward the Mets as a kid. Always a Pirates fan, but you always have sometimes when your team isn't playing well, you lean as a kid. You lean across the border and you pick other teams. And the Mets were kind of my secondary squad as a kid.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's mine too, and I think a lot of people from this area because we grew up, man. It was Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden.
Absolutely.
Out there, like, how could you not like those two cokeheads?
He does follow it up by saying 2001 Yankees. And then Tyrone, he says, yes, sir. Can't wait for the draft. It's going to be a blast, man. I can't wait either. It's going to be a lot of fun. Isaiah follows it up by saying 2003 Yankees and 04 Red Sox. Was the 04 Red Sox the bloody sock?
Ketchup stain?
On Kurt Schilling's ankle. Somber says, Isaiah, are you good? Let's go to Ty. He says, I'm confused as fuck. Also, Isaiah says 2007 Red Sox version, Josh Beckett. Steeler Freak says this. Ask Tater who was on fire, Will Grigg. The 1999 Mets, Isaiah's going on. 1996 Yankees, Jimmy Key. 98 Yankees tribute. Tater says, Will Griggs on your on fire, your defense is terrified. Isaiah says 2013 MLB. The show. John says, I knew you'd get it, Tater. Finally, Mark Malone says, you still take Aller, Beck, Robertson this year. Cody, I think if I knew I was going to get drafted to the Browns or the Raiders or the Titans, I would pull an Eli Manning and be like, nah, I don't think I'm I don't think so. I'm not going there. Put my name back in the hat, please. Just not happening. Tyrone says 5th round, the latest round. I like green. Don't drink that, Corey. Corey says this. I think with Mike Tomlin being on the committee, they told him that they couldn't keep Pickens and DK because we would have been unstoppable in theory, and the NFL didn't like that. What do I know? He says, Followed up. I do want to say welcome. There he is, Thomas. He says first time tuning in. I hope you're still here. I hope the Browns
I
fan
hope
didn't
so.
scare you away.
Hopefully you're still here.
Cody says teams interested in Crosby was Patriots, San Francisco, and Philly, and Baltimore. Built a lot of momentum, a lot of talk this morning. I'm seeing, Cody, about the Ravens possibly being interested in Max Crosby. Cody says, what do I know? I'm just a conspiracy theorist. LOL. Everybody, welcome Thomas. Let's go to Cody. Cody says, out of 300 and something wide receivers at the combine, only 2 people did every drill. Tater says Niners will be scary with Crosby and Bosa. Also, Cody says this, I don't feel bad for Burrow. He signed his new contract knowing his team was asked. He is signed up until 2029. Joe Burrow is, unfortunately for him. Unfortunately, I mean, you know what? Who knows? I mean, when he came back, Mike, they were doing well, and their offense was playing as good as most of the offenses were when he did make his comeback from his injury. Of course, even when Joe Flacco was in there, Mike, he was so maybe the Bengals aren't as far off as people think they are. Maybe they're just a piece or two from having a legit squad. And again, I think most of that comes on defense. The talent they have on offense is pretty amazing. Maybe you get another guy here, a piece there. But the Bengals, Mike, Joe Burrow is there till 2029.
Yeah, and he's under a good contract too.
I know.
And they have a lot of, like you said, man, their offensive skill positions are great, but their O-line sucks and their defense sucks. And you're paying a lot of money to him, Chase, and Higgins. And that's tough. That's tough to build out the rest of your team.
Sommer says that Tater is hanging around like a dingleberry. That might be better than a hemorrhoid because the dingleberry kind of just hangs around.
Hanging around like a dingleberry.
I like it.
I love it.
Cody says sounds like a episode of Peaky Blinders. Tyrone says yes. I don't know what's taking so long. Tyrone said, you know what, is PQ coming packed as well? I don't think, guys. Again, this is just my opinion, but everything that I've read so far really seems that Patrick Queen is going to be returning next year. I mean, I could be wrong. We don't know. Again, we're going to be pulling up the list of free agents to talk about here shortly. But me personally, I just don't. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he's going to go anywhere, Mike. I think Patrick Queen is back next year.
I think so too. And he only has 1 year left on his deal, and this is going to be the last year for it. He's not going to get an extension. So, and if they're going to add to their D line and they're going to keep their 3 edge rushers, him, Peyton Wilson in the middle, and maybe someone in the draft, like, I don't think they're going to totally redo that inside backer room. I think the one who's going to be let go might be Malik Harrison, and then like they'll draft someone and get someone else through free agency to go in there. But they're like, if they think they're close to making a run in the playoffs, they're not going to get rid of Patrick Queen.
Tyrone saying we need to reconstruct DK, TJ, J-Ram too. Is he getting the 80s and 90s of Omar Cook? Also, Cody says Tater is gold member. Tyrone says Tater Goofy Goober. Tater Goofy Goober. Steeler Freak John, he says golden shower member Tater is. I don't see Tater defending himself. He might have made his way out. I don't know. I don't see any more.
His way out, but hey, we don't judge here. We don't kink shame.
No, you can take golden showers all day. I don't care, Tater.
Yeah.
Whatever it is they do in Ireland or Scotland or wherever the hell.
As long as it's consensual, man. As long as it's consensual.
Cody says Tater loves the gold shower. Loves it. Let's go to Steeler Freak. Burrow has millions of reasons not to. Absolutely sure does. Peaky Taters is what Tortilla is saying, and followed up by Cut Mason, Cut Harrison, and then Cody says, isn't Carson Bruner a middle linebacker? I think, is he a linebacker?
He is. Yeah, he's a middle linebacker. I don't know if they view him as anything more than a special teams player right now.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't think that Carson Bruner would beat Patrick Queen out of that position. I mean, we don't know. He's young. He's only in his second year, but he looked really nice on special teams. It just doesn't seem to me like that would be in the agenda, Mike, certainly at this point. Again, it's hard to say how he would play, but at the end of the day, Patrick Queen has been an All-Pro, and he's been at that position for a couple seasons. I don't get the vibe that he's leaving. Out of everybody, Mike, that could possibly go, and again, we will be pulling up the free agency list here shortly. I don't see him going. I just don't. It doesn't seem like it's in the cards for this offseason. That's just my opinion. Let me go to Isaiah Coach. He says original Uncover Brother Michael Jackson Beat It song version, Denise Richards and Black Lady Not Easy E Nonsense with Me. Steeler Freak says this. Tater's mom only gives him 15 minutes of phone time. Tyrone says at least PQ was last year was with us. So what's being said? I'm not sure. I'm sorry about that last part. And then also Somber agrees. He says, what? LOL. I'm still waiting on that. And Tyrone will get it. He'll get it back up. Guys, a couple of things before we do get into this list. We're going to pull out the list of free agencies and take a look at it today. Cody says, what's a worse need? Wide receiver, safe wide receiver. For sure. I think. What's your opinion? Like, what's the worst need to have, safety or wide receiver? I mean, because the safety position is a big position too. I mean, you obviously know the problems if you don't have it.
Wide receiver.
I would say wide. I mean, look at our offense for the past couple of years.
Yeah, because like right now we'd be running in like with our safeties as Deshaun Elliott and Jalen Ramsey. I'd take that over DK Metcalf and a hodgepodge of nothingness. So needing a need at wide receiver is a whole hell of a lot worse than a need at safety. Not that far off, but it's you definitely need wide receivers.
Also, Mike, it is official. The Steelers officially did cut Calvin Anderson. He is gone, no longer involved with this team in any capacity. Pat Freiermuth, Mike, 6 to 8 teams.
Yeah.
Now interested in Pat Freiermuth. I mean, the thing is, the guy got value, and people see that. They know it. Like 6 to 8 teams. Steelers still not budging, saying that we're not interested in moving Pat Freiermuth. We 100% look forward to him being a Steeler this year, Mike. Up to 6 to 18. That's a quarter of the league. 8 out of 2032. A quarter of the league wants Pat Freiermuth. I like that again, because let's just say you do decide to move him, Mike. That's value right there, because there's a lot of people that say, well, he didn't get a lot of catches. He didn't do this under just the way that this offense was, a tight end heavy offense, the Arthur Smith offense. And at the end of the day, I think people realize his value now, as you see again, a quarter of the league interested in having him. And again, the Steelers saying, no, it's not happening. He's going to be a Steeler this year.
He's going to be a Steeler, and he's signed. They just signed him last year. He's signed through 2029, and his cap hit is very reasonable. 11.2, 12.1, then 10.5. And he'll only be 30 years old when that contract ends up. And I don't see them moving on from him, at least in this contract right here, because, you need weapons, and he's a good weapon to have. And then you get a receiver or two in the draft, and maybe one through free agency or the trade. And it's going to take a lot of. That defense now is actually have to guard NFL caliber players, not people on their last leg in the league. Pat Freiermuth is still a viable option, a great weapon to have in this offense. So I don't blame him for telling teams no. Now, if you're waving a first-round draft pick at me, no, I'm thinking long and hard.
Absolutely. That one. Especially what position in the first round? I mean, come on, you're putting yourself in a great position if you, or a situation if you have that.
But no one's offering a first. I don't think anyone would even offer a second for him.
No, which they shouldn't.
But if a team gave me a second, I would want a sweetener. Then think about it. But who are you going to get to replace them? That's not a really deep tight end class, and I don't even know the free agents that are at the tight end position. I don't think you would get anyone to replace him that would be that good.
Let's go to Ty. Ty says, I'm saying I guess it will be PQ's last year with us. No, you're good, dude. We were just messing with you. Also, Steeler Freak says the Steelers can free agent a safety but no free agent wide receiver wants to come. Gotcha. Somber. He says, I was just saying that to Isaiah, and I got that as well as I was looking back. I'm still trying to figure out all the baseball references and such. What's up, Kenneth? Always great seeing Kenneth on the terrible board. My man, always great seeing Kenneth. Hope things are going well for you, sir. Tyrone says, hopefully McCarthy uses 88. I think that he will. I do think that we're going to see the tight ends used in the right capacity this year. And with Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington, I couldn't be more happy, to be honest with you. I like what Muth brings to the table. And also Darnell Washington, I cannot wait to see what he does to the competition moving forward, Mike, because now they finally used him in the right way last year.
Yeah.
Now maybe the new coach and company see now, like, you know, I want more of that. Who doesn't want a guy that people just bounce off of whenever he's running the ball? I'm like, this is like a gift from like the Madden gods. This is something that you create on Madden where you put everything up to 100 in the biggest size and the biggest everything and the highest, and you just let and you run and people fall. That's what you have with him. Why we were so reluctant, Mike? Why are we so hesitant to use him in certain situations last year?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in goal line situations, he needs to be in there 100% of the time. If you're in the red zone, he needs to be in there 100% of the time. A man with that size who people can't tackle, I think you have to be retarded to not just salivate to have that situation.
Yeah.
If he was somewhere else, somebody would be taking advantage of that, Mike. And again, a guy that you've seen the footage. How many times it's like, let me go back a little bit, like a video game when they get like the magic star and nothing can touch you and you're running through the board and things are just bouncing off you in every which way. That's the way it is with him, Mike. And again, I think it's it's a crime not to have him more involved in the offense, especially when you're going on and on about how much you want to be this tight end team as Arthur Smith did for the last 2 seasons. So let's get that behind us. If we could get him involved, Mike, I think how can that not breed success in some capacity?
Like if you have him down the goal line, like you can line him up in so many different spots, on the line up to help block or, block and go out into a route. Line them out wide. You don't have to throw them to him out wide, but that's going to draw at least 2 defenders that way.
It better draw 2 defenders because if you don't have 2 guys out there throwing the ball, you know what? And if you have 2 guys out there taking it, because here's the thing, they know it's going to take a couple guys to tackle him. You get Darnell Washington down a seam, you better have another guy down there. You better have a safety watching your ass, because if not, that guy's going to run you over and walk into the end zone. And if you do double team him, now you have something else freed up, Mike. So again, hopefully the new coaching staff sees these things and takes advantage, because you can't have a guy like him and not use him to your advantage, because somebody else surely would be using the hell out of him and it would be working.
Yeah, because even if you don't target him, he's going to be effective. Like I said, he's going to draw attention from someone. And if you line him up in a weird spot, next thing you know, he's like a little nickelbacks on him, or a smaller corner, or an undersized linebackers on him. I'm taking that matchup all day, every day, and I'm just throwing it up there and see what happens. He needs used a whole hell of a lot more. Pat Fry needs used a whole hell of a lot more.
It's just such a shame, because that was the agenda. Let's go into these next 2 seasons, last 2 years, with all these tight ends and make something happen. You bring in Jonnu Smith, who had zero elusiveness. I mean, zero. What a disappointment he was. You let Pat Freiermuth fall to the wayside, and you didn't use him. They started to use Darnell Washington last year, but this big tight end game that Arthur Smith talked, it never really formulated, I don't think, Mike, on any level.
No, it didn't.
Because everybody was grossly underused, in my opinion, when it came to tight end, especially if you're building a team around tight ends.
Yeah, and God, it felt like outside of Freiermuth, Meatwad was the most used or most utilized tight end, and a lot of that was just on the gimmick stuff.
You're absolutely right. Meatwad did his job; he was serviceable. But again, it was a shame that you got very little from Jonnu Smith. That was the shame, because all preseason, I'm saying this last year, all offseason, I'm like, Mike, we don't have a wide receiver too. How is this going to work? And you said to me, he was like, well, Jonnu Smith's coming. He's like a wide receiver. His numbers in Miami, and you weren't lying. his numbers in Miami, he was a Pro Bowler. Jonnu Smith is going to be able to make those plays that we're going to lack from not having a legit wide receiver too. Mike, he was less than the worst case scenario, I thought, in my opinion. The guy had zero production in the Jets game early in the season. He scored on a jet sweep. I think one other time he had a touch. I don't remember what his numbers were, but off the top of my head, very, very disappointed in Jonnu Smith. And again, just in the ability to get anything going with that offense, especially when that's the offense that you were going in planning to run.
Yeah, because in Miami, he was lined up out wide, in the slot, online, like all over the place, and very effective and looked good in what he was doing. And he comes here and he was running in sand. It was very disappointing because you think you're getting, this damn good asset, and you end up getting a lemon.
Yeah. Well, we want a lemon, Mike, but not that lemon.
No, not that. I want lemon.
Let's go to Hope. Tyrone says, hopefully. Okay, we did get that. Cody, would you trade Pat Freiermuth for Brian Thomas? I would not trade Pat Freiermuth for Brian Thomas Jr. I think that we'd be able to get him, but I don't think that we'd have to give up Pat Freiermuth. I'd like to keep the weapon that is Pat and also have BTJ, but I personally wouldn't make that trade myself, Mike.
I would not. Now it's all depending on the asking price.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, of Jacksonville, of what they're going to want, because I know they tried last year to get him, and it didn't work. And I think they kind of like their tight end room down there. They already have another Penn State tight end in Brenton Strange, so I don't know if they want another Penn State tight end.
Let's go to Ty. He says, Cody stealing questions. Tortilla, he says this: I take a third for Muth. There's some tight ends in the draft and a few in free agency. That's just me though. But my opinion on that, Tortilla, is this: we have so many other holes to fill. We kind of have tight ends. You know what I mean? Whether you're happy with the room or whether you're not. And again, half the room I'm not happy with, and I'm going to be happy to see Jonnu Smith going down the road here in the next couple of days. But we kind of have pieces in place at that position. I mean, if I'm looking at trading picks around and moving players, it's going to be with this offensive line right now. It's going to be at the cornerback position. It's going to be, a wide receiver spot, of course. We kind of have pieces in place at tight end. And again, Darnell Washington, and a lot of people forget about the success that Muth did have early on. And I say this a lot, Mike, but there's a reason for it. What was his second or third season? He had more catches as a tight end than any Steeler to that point in their career as a tight end. So again, there's something about Muth. If you get him back involved more regularly in the size of Darnell Washington, I'm not too focused. I'm not too worried on the tight end situation. I think Arthur Smith did a good enough job putting enough pieces in that spot for right now. Again, I just think we have bigger fish to fry. I think we have to first, again, I'm about to pull this list down, like look at free agents. But again, you're going to maybe focusing on what you're going to do with your running back spot. Yes, you do have Caleb Johnson, but you might be losing Gainwell. So what does that leave the running back room? Of course, everybody knows the quarterback situation we have. Wide receiver, we've been playing with one of them for 2 years. That has to be fixed. On the defensive side of the ball, we obviously need defensive line help moving forward, some depth, excuse me, some size at nose. We're talking about the Patrick Queen inside linebacker situation, and also the corners. So, Mike, again, at this point, I just think that I'm not real focused on Pat Freiermuth. I'm kind of happy that the Steelers are saying that we're not planning on moving him. So I kind of feel secure at that one particular position at this point. And at this point, I don't know if we should upend that. We just have a lot of things going on. Mike, 12 picks. I think it's going to be all needed for the in the draft.
Yeah, like if you have, excuse me, if your roster has holes, don't go shipping off pieces to create even more holes to fill.
Right.
Like if he's a solid NFL tight end that, like you said, a quarter of the league wants on their roster, you leave him in Mount Washington there, you're done, you're set. Yeah, that's one less position you have to worry about. Now you jettison him. Oh, great. Now we got to find a tight end. Oh, we're going to get rid of Patrick Queen. Fuck. Now we got to get it starting inside linebacker with a starting tight end. Oh, we also need a starting left guard, left tackle. We need a starting corner. We need a starting wide receiver. You're just going to add more to what you have to get. No, if you have something on your roster and it's already established, you need to know what that quantity is and what you're going to get out of them. okay, you know how to maximize their talent and minimize their deficiencies. Keep them on your roster, and then fill all the other holes, and then go forward from there. I because we're not in a rebuild. If we were in a rebuild, yeah, get rid of all these guys, but we're not. We're trying to add pieces to what we already have to keep going forward. So no, you keep Pat Freiermuth, you keep Pat PQ for one more year.
I just think that's where we're at right now. Tortilla, I take a third for Muth or some tight ends in the draft. We did get that one. Let's scoot up to Cody. Cody says, when people like you can do whatever you want. He's referring back to Tyrone saying he's stealing questions, I think. Also, Steeler Freak says this. John says safety can rely on his own talent to be successful. Wide receiver needs the offensive coordinator and a quarterback to be successful. That's a good point. Absolutely. Safeties could go out and make a play any given play after play.
Yeah.
But a receiver, you gotta have some other things happening in your favor for sure. Cody says Tyrone's going to be rooting for Artie Smith next year. just think of that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you like him or not, it's he's involved with his team now, so you will be rooting for Artie once again. I feel for you, brother. I really do. But I'm sure Ohio State will be just fine. Let's go Tyrone. He says Cody's rooting for Manning next year. Also, let's go Somber. He says pick one. You are a running back and you're starting at Debo in the hole, or you're staring at Debo in the hole, or you're a cornerback staring Darnell Washington is running at you or with the ball. So would you rather be a defender trying to tackle Darnell Washington, or would you rather have the ball going up against Debo? That's a tough one. You know what? I would listen. This is what I would do. I would go up against Mount Washington. How many guys did Debo TO? How many times did guys get concussions? I think he would hit you harder. I think Darnell would hit you like a big guy would hit you. He would be big and strong, and but I think that's it. I think Debo would probably kill you.
I don't know. I
in their prime, of course.
In their prime, yeah.
Again,
I would go with Debo. I think that would be a good fun one as a football player. To just both see who can get lower. Because Mount Washington, man, you're going to have to go low on him, but he might hurdle you. And I don't want to get embarrassed that way. I'd rather get knocked the fuck out by, hey, man, at least I'm getting hit. Where Mount Washington, I'm going to go low and he's going to jump 5 feet over my head. No, I don't want that.
I don't know. The guy with the meaner streak, I think, would be James Harrison. That would be the guy that would have a will to try to knock your head off. And I think, again, Darnell Washington seems like a more nicer natured guy. So maybe I'd like to get hit by him instead of Washington. And you know what? As far as Harrison goes, Mike, I just watched a video the other day where they were showing all of his knockout hits. Yeah. Very, very impressive. It's still here in 2026 to watch his hits, man.
Him and Ryan Clark have made the NFL what it is today because of their hits.
Absolutely. Somber, love the question. Great one, man. John says this. I wonder, Steeler Freak, of course, says, I wonder if Rodgers has it out for Muth. If so, let him go elsewhere. Let him go somewhere else if Rodgers returns. Muth never bitches. You know what? That's a good point, Mike. A lot of people we are bringing that up while we're talking about Pat Freiermuth. Is what if it is Aaron Rodgers? And what if just knowing what we know, he didn't really use Pat Freiermuth last year, knowing that, and if that is the situation going forward, does that alter anything, or are you just on the process? Or are you just in the mindset of saying, well, you know what, Aaron's only going to be here another season if that be the case, and I would still love to have that piece of that is Pat Freiermuth moving forward because he certainly adds value to the offense.
Yeah, Muth is going to be here a whole hell of a lot longer than Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. So I'm paying you $11.5 million. You take your $11.5 million, you sit down, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And, deal with it for one more year and count your bank account.
Vegas says, what's good, fellas? Always great seeing great Vegas all the way from Vegas on the terrible board. My man, hope things are going good for you out that way in Nevada. DB Darnell. Tyrone is saying DB Darnell. Vegas says my stomach was hurting. I had to go take a Browns right after Taters put up his terrible Browns colored hearts. Apparently Tater's back. There he is, Mike. Cody says if I was a cornerback, I would jump on Darnell's back and let him cry. You know what? That's how it would play out anyway. As a matter of fact, I showed that picture of Lorenzo Styles at the beginning of the show, the dad, senior. That's how it was watching him play. Mm-hmm. He was probably about 3 or 4 years ahead of me, and he was just as big as they came, Mike. Again, he wore number 1, just intimidating. And guys were literally on his back as he ran down the field. It was impossible to stop that guy. Somber says this, LOL, free piggyback ride. Tater says, why Vegas, don't your boyfriend kick you in the stomach? Or did your boyfriend kick you in the stomach? Oh, man.
Oh,
I told you he has a mean streak, Mike. I told you. You didn't believe me.
I thought Tater was a nice guy, and here he comes. He's just firing full bore.
Tortilla says, I agree. Ryan tight end wouldn't be my list of moves to make, but if the right offer comes along and there's a guy we like on the board, said, yeah, you know what? Ultimately, I would agree. Listen, I'm not 100% with Pat Freiermuth. If something came along I really loved, Mike, but it has to be the right move and it has to be the right value, I would then make a move with Muth. But I'm about 99% in on Muth, meaning that that it would take the perfect storm for me to make that move.
The only way I do it, like I said, it would be a first-round pick. That's the only way I'm doing it. Because
yeah, I mean, it's got to be something that you were thrilled to death with.
I'm looking at the list of free agents. There's guys out there, but there's none that I would really take. Like David Njoku. Yeah, but he hasn't had a full season in 3 years.
Right.
Dallas Goedert, no. Travis Kelce, no. Tyler Higbee, no. And a lot of these guys I would take, but they're older, and we're just going to get older. There's no young replacement out there. Then you got to hope you can get someone in the draft that's going to come in and fill in just like Muth. No, I'm not about creating more holes to fill when we're trying to keep building the team forward and be competitive. That's the directive from the owner is we want to be competitive, and one way to stay competitive is by keeping your tight end, who is one of the better tight ends in the league.
Tyrone asks, is A-Rod going to let us know before free agency? I mean, we're getting really close on time with this. I would like to know, and again, whether the Steelers already know or not, we can't be sure of that. We mentioned yesterday that a lot of people within the Steelers organization have been consistently in touch with Aaron, so that, they may know, Ty, but at the end of the day, I think that ultimately, we should, whether us fans know or not, the team should have information on the inside of that, just because of, as you're saying, the free agency and things are going to be happening and pieces are going to be moving, and we got to know how to treat free agency and then ultimately the draft, whether it comes before Monday, before the tampering period starts, or before Wednesday, I don't know. Again, we're getting awfully close at this point. However, I don't think that it's going to be too far beyond that, Mike. I think that we find, at least the word that we're being told here in Pittsburgh is mid-March is what they're looking at, and it's kind of that deadline that they're giving Aaron. And again, here we are on March 3rd, but at the end of the day, the free agency starts on the 11th. You don't get any closer to the Ides of March to mid-March, Mike, than the 11th. So if it doesn't happen here shortly before free agency, which I'm doubting it is, I'm thinking it's going to be right after free agency, Mike.
I do too, and because there's no free agent quarterback they're going to go.
No, we're not in the game for the free agent.
They're like, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers or it's going to be Mason Rudolph, Will Howard fighting for the job.
I agree.
I'm just going through this list of free agent quarterbacks. Like, they're not going to take a flyer on Malik Willis. They're not going to go after Kyler Murray, I don't think. And no, so it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, or Will Howard will be your starting quarterback.
And unfortunately, as Ty's saying, I think that is the case. And people say, well, next year, but haven't we been saying this for years now regarding the quarterback position? And in my opinion, it seems like the Aaron coming back does prolong and kick that can down the road and push it back even further, Mike. But at the end of the day, there is a nice crop of kids coming out. I don't know if that's the ultimate goal for us. I don't know if, again, I want to see Will Howard. I want to see Will Howard real bad in the preseason for sure, Mike, and beyond, who knows what's going to happen with that. But again, I expect Aaron Rodgers to be back this year. That's just me personally. That's not coming off of any inside scoop, any information. I just really feel like Aaron Rodgers will be back this year. I don't necessarily love it. I think that he does give us an opportunity to win some games, as he did last year. It's not going to be anything great, but it's going to be Aaron. And again, he knows things that a lot of other quarterbacks in the league don't know. He sees things. Those things you could take toward an advantage. But as far as this team getting better and improving and getting that whole field, I don't think it's going to be this season, Mike. I think, as you said, it's either going to be Aaron Rodgers or it's going to be some Mason Rudolph. I don't see a splash in any capacity for the Steelers this year at the quarterback position, unfortunately.
No, there's no one in free agency, and like this draft class that was supposed to be loaded, as the college season played out, turned out to not be as loaded as they thought. So taking Will Howard last year was a smart move. So Will Howard last year was a smart move, and potentially taking another mid-round quarterback this draft cycle will also looking like it's going to be the smart move to make. So because there's outside of Mendoza there, there's no real high-profile quarterback that I would take in the first round.
And it's sad because
if there was one there, I'd be chomping at the bit, like, go get this guy, do what you have to do to go get him, but there's no one there.
I mean, we've accomplished nothing at the quarterback position, if you will. Like, Ben Roethlisberger is up for Hall of Fame, which means he's been out of the league for 5 years.
Yeah.
Which means that we've literally stood in place at the quarterback position with a bunch of different experiments, Band-Aids, Russell Wilson's, Justin Fields's, Mason Rudolph's, Mitch Trubisky's, Kenny Pickett's. Like, we've literally made no headway at the quarterback position. And again, people are just saying at some point we have to pull the trigger somewhere. We have to make some kind of move. Otherwise, it's going to be 6 years next year we're looking at, Mike, without a quarterback. And again, other teams are taking chances with people. Other teams are getting people with that position. Another team brought in a free agent last year and went and won the Super Bowl. So again, people can always say, why aren't the Steelers doing anything? You still are running in place, the same place that you were 5 years ago. And I don't disagree with that. So again, it's going to be interesting, Mike. But again, it almost falls into me right now. This offseason looks like it's going to be offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, and wide receivers are going to be the what we're interested in picking up and grabbing. So I think that quarterback position, just like the tight end position, Mike, is going to be the same as it was last year. And I don't see any big changes, at least this season. I would like to get that ball rolling. But right now, Mike, there's legit nobody out there that I think the Steelers will go after.
No, and I don't see them taking a chance on, like I said, like a Malik Willis, or God, like there's not even like that quarterback. Like, oh man, they were a good reclamation project.
Right.
There's no one out there that would be like a Sam Darnold type quarterback. That there isn't.
You know who's a Sam Darnold type quarterback? Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Mike, I liked him for years. You know, I've liked him.
I know you did. You were really high on him.
I seen something in him that nobody's seen. I don't know what it was. Like a psychic I was.
You know, you did always talk about him, and I looked at you like you were crazy.
Yeah.
And he had that good year up in Minnesota. Then like, what happened in the playoffs, he was seeing go. So it's like, there he is. But then this year came around, and there was none of that. There was almost early signs of it in the Super Bowl, but he overcame it. Like he exercised all of his demons in that Super Bowl, and I did not think he had it in him. Like you saw the talent. I just didn't know if he could ever overcome it, and he did. And you were right, man. I give it to you. For the longest time, ever since you and I started doing this podcast, you always talked about Sam Darnold, and I thought you were a whack job. Well, you are a whack job, but
well, obviously
confirmed it.
But you know, like every situation when he was at Carolina, he looked too good to be with Carolina. Even when he was with the Jets, and the thing was, people said, well, he didn't do anything great, but of course he was with Carolina and with the Jets. Yeah. But as he started getting opportunities, Mike, as you mentioned, Minnesota, he managed to win 14 games in Minnesota. You know, the team fell off in the playoffs, of course. Won 14 games in Seattle, back-to-back 14-game seasons. No other quarterback besides Tom Brady has ever done that. I'm not saying that he is Tom Brady by any means.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this kid's capable.
That's rare air.
And to go out and win a Super Bowl this day and age, you got to be doing something right. So again, at the end of the day, I'm not going to pat myself on the back. I appreciate that acknowledgement, but at the end of the day, Mike, it was somebody that I seen early that I thought this guy in the right situation could make some things happen, and he did. And this, it could have been that way with Pittsburgh. Maybe not. We don't have a lot of the pieces in place that Seattle has. People say, how much better are we than Seattle? Well, we lost 31-17 in week 2 last year at home against Seattle. Teams that are better, they usually beat the Steelers by 10 points or more. This is a team that is on the upper tier, Mike, in my opinion. A lot of times Steelers lose close games, but when they play teams that are on those next tiers higher, we get beat by 10 couple touchdowns usually pretty regularly.
Yeah. I think like if we would have got Sam Darnold, we would not have seen the Sam Darnold we saw in Seattle.
Right.
It would not have been anywhere near close to what we saw up there. It would have been nice to have, if we would have signed him and got that production, but I don't think it was ever going to happen.
Let me grab a couple more messages, Mike. We are going to jump on this free agent list. I keep bringing it up, but you know what? We're getting there. I promise you. Let me jump in and grab a few more of these right around. All right. I think I found it.
You think?
We'll go right here. Pat has an average of about 55 targets when he has a decent quarterback. That is what Somber's saying on the board. Also, Steeler Freak John says this. I think smart guy Rogers believes his impression of players is always correct. He has had his guys since GB, K Johnson, Roman Wilson, and Muth could be on. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. Again, I think that some of those guys could have been weapons, at least Muth for sure. Roman Wilson, the way why he's got blackballed, I'll never know what's going on. What we read last week, Mike, what we were saying that it was Aaron Rodgers didn't like his professionalism or his lack thereof.
Yeah.
So again, I'd be interested to hear more of that, see what that's all about. Tyrone, I'm right there with you. He says I want to see Howard. I do too. Somber says Vanilla likes to live life on the edge. He does. Also, Vegas says, do like Isaac Bruce used to do after he made a catch, and before he gets tackled, he would dive at the defender's legs instead. Remember, Isaac?
I got to jump off for a second real quick. I'll be right back.
You're good. Somber says, had to go take a tater. Let's go to Ty. Ty says, Jets franchise tag Breece Hall hostage. Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. I'd be bummed. Could you imagine going to the Jets? Come on, nothing good ever goes to the Jets. They're just one of them teams. They just are. If you wasn't on the 1969 season when they sold their soul to the devil to win the Super Bowl, I don't know. It's just never a good situation going on up there in New York, or over there in New York, if you will. Somber says, you're late, Tyrone. Vegas says, we know what it means when a guy makes a gay joke out of nowhere. 100% Sig. John Steeler Freak says this. Tater grabbed the phone off his ma after she fell asleep watching the Irish Jeopardy. Give me derpy leprechauns for 100, John says. Cody says this. Have we signed anybody? Have we signed anyone that's about to hit free agency, or do we let everyone hit free agency and start signing? Well, that's Monday is technically going to be the day that you could start having these conversations with people. I don't know why Mike why didn't he kill his volume? Mike went on break and he kept his volume on. Let me focus where I was at. Okay, so the tampering period. Now this was made. It's 52 hours prior to the official start of free agency, and the reason that the tampering period was made, it was originally created to reduce illegal backroom deals. Cody. So we technically haven't signed anybody. I have word that some scoop that we have some people that are going to be on their way out the door. Maybe those things have already been in action, in motion. Somebody had said Jonnu Smith by the end of the week could possibly be gone. But as far as bringing people in and talking to people, a lot of that is going to start on Monday with the tampering period. And again, that's why that particular period was created, for the 52 hours leading up to the start of free agency. So technically, to answer your question, no, we have not. But again, you'll start seeing a lot of that momentum pick up as we head into, as we start getting a little closer to tampering period and through the beginning of next week, working our way to 4 o'clock on Wednesday. So technically, no. Guys are leaving. Guys are, again, Calvin Anderson, has been cut. He is gone. Again, Jonnu Smith, Mike, I'm hearing that he could be out by the end of the week. But as far as grabbing anybody, it's nothing has happened yet, Cody. Tortilla says, it's just going to keep getting pushed back again. And that's what I keep saying too. Okay. What do you do? Do you go after a move that like we did in the past with Russell or Justin or Kenny? Or do we kind of keep doing what we're doing and be patient until we fall into that situation and find that guy? Do you make the move with a guy and it fails? Or do we be a little bit more standoffish and say, you know what, we kind of have an idea we want to do. We really like this guy that's in the next draft, and you kind of handle it accordingly. Mike, it's tough because, again, we did the other way, and people want us to continue to go that way. Bring Malik Willis in, bring Anthony Richardson in, bring Kyler Murray in. Well, isn't that what we were saying when we brought Russell Wilson in, when we brought Justin Fields in? It's a tough situation to be in, Mike. Again, make the wrong moves and have this thing continue on, or make no moves.
You see what happens, like when you whiff on a first-round quarterback, you get into because we thought or the team thought like, hey, we got our guy post-bed, we're good to go, we're set up for the future, and like, no, we're not. So then you start getting bridge quarterback after bridge quarterback after bridge quarterback, trying to find someone to hold down the fort until you can get the next one coming along in the draft, and it just hasn't worked out. And they're probably planning on like this was going to be the year, load up on all these picks, move up to get one of these 4 or 5 quarterbacks that were supposed to come out and have great potential, and none of them did. So now you just go to plan B of building out a roster and using another bridge quarterback until you can get that developmental quarterback that you already have on your roster ready to go. Or in one of these drafts, a lot of good quarterbacks are out, then you go up and get that guy because you already have your team in place. So we're plan A didn't work out, so now they're on plan B, and that's just keep building a roster, remaining competitive, and then make your move to get your guy.
I'm going to get to this free agency list in just a moment. Let me grab 2 more messages right here. Cody says, KG, Pierre, any of the safeties. Vegas says Al Bundy is greater than Kyler Murray. You know what? It could be debatable, but did Kyler Murray ever score 4 touchdowns in one game?
I don't think he did.
I don't know if he did.
Legend.
Summer says this, Jerry Fowler seems to think that if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, that Will is their B plan. You know what? Everybody that I keep talking seems to put Will behind Mason. And again, I understand the experience and he's been there longer, but at the end of the day, we got to see Will. I can't take it anymore. Again, we don't know what we have in Will because, again, we haven't seen him take 1 snap, not even preseason, after breaking his hand early in preseason last year. I'm ready for some Will Howard. That's me. Again, July ball can't come fast enough for me. Cody says, what do you think is going to happen with Calvin Austin the third? Where do you see him go if he's not back with us? I honestly think he ends up being back with us, Mike. I think he falls into the wide receiver room in a lower capacity, maybe sitting at the 4, maybe sitting at the 5. But you know what? Without further ado, let's pull up the free agency list so we could answer some of these questions, and we'll just go down the list, Mike. We'll see what the money they're making is, what they made, what things are going to look like. So do let me grab the free agency list, guys. Without further ado, let's start with the very top, Mike. People that got paid the most. You know what? I'm going to start right to just top of the list I got in front of me here. Mike, Kyle Duggar, the safety. Of course, you mentioned Deshaun Watson. You mentioned Jalen Ramsey. Kyle Duggar, $14.5 million last year, Mike. Or $14.5 million. Kyle Duggar, is he the odd man out when it comes to safeties this year? Because again, you have 2 starters back there. Kyle Duggar probably should be starting somewhere. I wasn't 100% thrilled with him. He brought some things early in his tenure here. A little bit later, he kind of fell off to me. There was some big mistakes made by him. If there's somebody that got to go from the safety room, Mike, is it going to be Kyle Duggar?
It'll be Kyle Duggar if they can get someone to back in, like Jaquan Brisker from Chicago. That's the hot name. They can get him back in to start next to Deshaun Elliott and allow Jalen Ramsey to roam around the back or the defensive backfield. That seems to be like a plan that a lot of people want in. Like I wouldn't mind Duggar coming back to be the number 3 safety back there, keep Ramsey at
Right.
safety. And, his market value is like 5.9, 5.5 mil. If you can get him on a contract like that for 1 year, I'd take him as a backup, not as a starter. I think once he had to play too much, he started to get exposed a little bit. But
Yeah.
as a backup, he's not a bad player.
And it was against a pretty bad Browns offense
That was like
that he got exposed.
losing track of the ball right there. Like that was the most layups of layups, alley oop type play that all you had to do was just jump and you would have caught the ball. I don't know.
He turned his back to the. It was weird.
It was weird. I don't know
the-
if he lost track of the ball, so he decided to turn and trying to find the defender or what. It was wild.
Next on the list, Mike, Aaron Rodgers. Let me just say real quick, Kyle Duggar will be 30. He'll be 30 during this season. So having 3 safeties in their 30s.
Yeah.
You might.
That's why like a lot of people are saying, oh, Jaquan Brisker could be the guy.
And then you're even looking at these other names, like I just seen on the board with Peppers and who's the other guy, Chucky Clark. I mean, and the fact of the matter is, they're the whole safety room is old. Come on.
Yeah, you got to get young and speed there.
Let's skip over Aaron. Of course, there's a plethora of Aaron Rodgers talk. Mike, that just doesn't stop, of course, because we don't know what's going on with the quarterback position. Let's go to Isaac Seumalo, of course, Mike, the guard. He's going to be 33 this football season. I think it's safe to say he's as good as gone at this point, Mike. He's going to be on the move come next week. You think?
Yeah, he's gone. Some team's going to scoop him up, and you know what? Good for him. Go make some more money. But he's going to be 33 during the season. It's time to get a little bit younger again on that left side of the line.
I couldn't agree more. I think obviously a lot of the construction, a lot of the building, and again, I think the draft is going to play a role, Mike, at that guard position this year. Just I don't know where, but I certainly think. Or again, we could see what free agency yields next week, Mike. They might have their eye on somebody that we don't know about. But again, after that period of time, Mike, then again, as we said earlier in the show, then you start to get a clearer vision of what you might be seeing in April when the draft comes to town. So next week is going to answer some questions, not all questions, some questions.
There's about like 3 or 4 guards I can see them targeting.
Let's see. Let's go to next on the list is Cole Holcomb, Mike. Cole Holcomb is a guy that I think that they could keep around. I think that they like him in a backup capacity. I think that they think that he's a good linebacker. To me, I thought that he had a lot of injuries early, and I just didn't know if he was going to be able to rebound. I mean, he was solid. He's never going to be the Ray Lewis of the team. He's never going to be anybody even close to that. But at the end of the day, I could see them keeping Cole Holcomb around, paying him a little bit of money, whatever it is he makes, and just kind of fill out that linebacker room, Mike. And again, I think the bigger questions are the people that are in front of him. To be honest, I'm not saying that Cole Holcomb is up for either of those positions, but it seems to me that the problems aren't the depth at inside linebacker. It's the starters that are actually raising the questions.
They are, it is the starters, but I think Cole Holcomb is not going to survive the new regime. He's too injury prone. Like when he first came in here, he was lighting it up, and then that knee and ankle, whichever one it was, went, and they kept him out for a whole year. It was in Achilles, right? I think it was. And I think he's gone.
I do want to say, hey, what's up, Steel Loyal? Steel Loyal says, just letting y'all know I'm here. I've been detailing my car. That's awesome, dude. We appreciate you, sir. Always love seeing Steel Loyal on the terrible board. Mike, let's of course.
Another one.
Let's go to Miles Killebrew. Miles Killebrew, Mike, is as good as gone. As I mentioned on last week's show, he's got his house in Washington County up for sale, and he moved. He's already moved to Tampa Bay, Florida, Mike. You could, if you're in the market for a home, Miles Killebrew's house is right around $650,000, I think, and it is only 8 years old, if I'm remembering right. But Miles Killebrew's home is up for sale. He did move to Tampa Bay, Mike. Miles Killebrew missing most of the season with his injury, a lot of the season with his injury last year. Is this a sign that's saying he's as good as gone?
Oh yeah, he's gone. He's going to end up down in Tampa Bay with Danny Smith.
Interesting. Mike, let's go to Ukulele, my man, a defensive lineman. He's going to be 33 this year. Looking at the depth of the defensive line, him and the next guy on the list is Dean Lowry. These are obviously depth pieces. These aren't anybody that's, what we have on the defensive line. We have Harmon. We have. I want to see more YA Black, of course. Cam is going to be Cam here for another year. So, but Mike, these depth defensive lineman pieces, do they keep these guys or do they rotate these pieces as sometimes they do? Depth pieces on defense, they kind of seem to come and go, and it just seems like one big carousel.
Yeah,
those guys never really stay long. Mike, again, Ukulele and Lowry, Mike, on this defensive line.
Yeah, I think they're both going to be gone.
And they're both going to be 32 during this football season as well.
Yeah, they'll both be gone, and then we'll get I think we're going to get another one in the draft and at least another one or two via free agency.
All right, let's go to next, Mike. Also, I'm going to jump down to Loudermilk just because he falls in the defensive line category. But Isaiah Loudermilk is another one, Mike, on this list of free agents. He's going to be 29. He has 5 years in the league. Isaiah Loudermilk, Mike, he also is in the defensive line depth. Is he here next season?
I hope not.
Not.
It's awesome that someone of that talent level survived 5 years in the NFL, but can we move on from Isaiah Loudermilk?
I agree. Let's move on, Mike, to Calvin Anderson, of course, is gone. Mike, he is next on the list. He is gone entirely. Officially, as of this morning, was announced it was official. Kenneth Gainwell, Mike, again, no Pittsburgh Steeler that won the Steelers MVP has not been on the team the following year, all the way back since 1996 when Neil O'Donnell got out of town. Does Kenneth Gainwell join him, Mike, or does he continue the streak?
I think he's gone, but not from a lack of him wanting to be here or the Steelers wanting him to be here. I think a team's just going to pay him too much, pay him more than what the Steelers are willing to offer.
That's what I think it's going to come down to.
I think that's what I think. All parties would want to come back to Pittsburgh, but at some point you got to go and get that big paycheck, and this is going to be his one opportunity to get it and go get it. Because I can see the Steelers going hey, here's a 2-year deal worth $6 to $7.5 million, take it or leave it, and I think a team will pay him a lot more than that.
Another one.
All right, Mike. Next on the list is Chucky Clark. This is somebody that I do not feel is going to be with the team. As we mentioned, Mike, the age of this safety room, it's startling.
Yeah.
Because again, the starters that are going to be the people that we're going to be keeping are J Ram, who's getting up there. Of course, Elliott, who's and then again, if you're going to keep Duggar, is trying to get that third wheel on at safety. He's over 30. Now you're talking Chucky Clark. He's going to be 31 years old. Also, Peppers, he's up there. So again, Mike, they have to. These guys, these backup safeties, they're gone in my opinion. I don't think that we retain any of them as far as Clark, as far as who was the other name that I just said?
Clark, Peppers. I think both Clark and Peppers are gone. They're both brought in at the start of the season when Elliott was starting to get hurt and guys were starting to get hurt. So they were just brought in as stopgap pieces. So they're going to be gone.
Right tackle, Mike, 11 years into the league, 32 years of age right now. He'll be 33 during the season. Andrews Pete, he certainly we liked him when he was filling in. Mike, he dealt with an injury late in the season. Does Andrews Pete make the cut? Is he going to be around moving forward? As again, this offensive depth is something that we're going to continue to try to build as time goes on, Mike. As the offensive line seems to be thinning over the years, as we had originally hoped it would be getting stronger as time went on. Again, the whole left side of the line might be an issue, obviously, heading into free agency and draft time. But like Andrews Pete, does he make the cut? Is he going to continue to be depth on the Steelers squad, or do we see him moving along?
I think he will be back. I would bring him back. Cheap veteran contract, 1-year deal. I think he's a good veteran presence to have on the team and a good backup for Troy Fatanu.
All right, let's move on. Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller's going to be 29 years old next year. He has 7 years in the league. He won a Super Bowl catching a nice pass from Tom Brady, a notable one, Mike. I believe it was a Super Bowl. Scotty Miller, I in my opinion, I think we have to be beyond that this year. I think whatever we do regarding the wide receiver position, whether it be free agency, whether it be in the draft, I think that it should push Scotty Miller out the bottom of this wide receiver room and no longer have him in the black and gold.
Yeah, he has to go.
Yeah.
We'll volunteer
He
Tortilla. to
can't
drive
be an
him
important piece. Again, Mike, for what he was in that Tampa Bay Super Bowl, he's probably, the fifth receiver.
Yeah.
He managed to get open when you got Mike Evans and you got all this other stuff going on. He can't be a major piece in what it is that you're doing. He has to, Mike, he's got to be shit out the bottom.
Yeah, he has to go. Like Ben Skoronek's got to be your last receiver on the depth chart and your special teams guy. Scotty Miller, Godspeed. Tortilla will drive you to the airport.
Yeah. We already talked about Pepper, so I'm going to skip over him, Mike. Let's go to MVS. Let's go to Juan Valdez-Scantling, Mike. This guy will not be on the team.
No,
I don't think. Of course, he came in late as a cheap, easy hope to be a fix. Mike, MVS, he's elsewhere, if anywhere, next year, as he, Mike, sits at 32 years old this season.
Yeah, he can go wander the mountains of Colombia trying to perfect the coffee blend.
Juan and his trusty donkey will be in Colombia.
Yeah, he can take Scotty Miller with him.
He could take Scotty. Mike, Asante Samuel Jr. next on the list. He was a late pickup last year for us. Asante Samuel Jr., Mike, is 26 in 4 months right now, 26 years old in 4 months. He has 5 years in the league. He did have the major surgery. What was it? The neck spine. It was something pretty serious. He came back, Mike. There was no signs of dealing of going through that injury. Came back, played well. I know that we're going to be looking at that cornerback position, obviously, in free agency in the draft, Mike. But as far as JPJ got his position locked up, is Asante Samuel still on this team once these motors get going, Mike, in July at camp? Is Asante Samuel's a part of the equation?
I hope so. I'm doing what I can to not let him walk out of the building.
I agree.
I liked what he did when he came back from that injury. He did not look hesitant at all out there. So I'm doing what I can to sign him, and then I'm going to draft a corner in the second or the third round too. Just to, not as an insurance, but as, it's a passing league. I want more corners, but him and JPJ, I'll take that all day, every day.
I'm just looking on the board. Tortilla says, I'm going to tell Scotty you said that, talking about Scotty Miller. And Cody, without missing a beat, responded, Scotty doesn't know. That could be a game ball. That could be a game ball. Let's move on, Mike. Let's go to
another one.
James Pierre. James Pierre, is this somebody that you want back? I want James Pierre back. But again, this is going to rely heavily on what decisions they're going to make here, Mike. Again, because if you bring in another corner, not only is the Asante Samuel situation in question, now I think that kind of pushes James Pierre back. Even though he had the improvement last year, Mike, he was looking a lot better. But again, I think by what they do at the corner position, or what they plan on doing, is going to dictate on if James Pierre is on the inside or the outside when it's all said and done. Mike, James Pierre.
I want to bring him back.
He's 30 years old this year. Actually.
He's a 30. Yeah, like I'm not talking like for a big contract.
Right.
If a team outbids you let him go, because he might have just been that 1 year wonder. Because his play at the end of the second half of the season was off the charts. I'm willing to give him a 1 year deal. Like, here's some nice money, and then him, JPJ, Asante Samuel Jr. I don't know who they're going to have played nickel. Get another guy in the draft. You can have a nice secondary, and I think James Pierre can be a part of it. He's not going to be counted on to be an every down starter, but
he scares me still. He's one of these. I
know.
Guys.
That's why you still get people in the draft.
If we get this guy and we give him a contract and he ends up not living up to that again, then
that's why I said just a 1 year deal.
Let me catch up, Mike. I do want to get you. I don't want to miss out on. Jim Chop is on the terrible board, guys. He is also he's the second member of the new draft team that we put together, and the guys will continue to be with us beyond that But I do want everybody to say welcome to Jim. He says this, guys. We sign Alec Pierce and Evan Neal in free agency. Then it makes more sense to draft Dylan Theinman in the first round. The receiver class this year is loaded unless it's Omar Cooper. He follows that up. I do know he followed that up somewhere. Maybe it was a little early. I'm sorry if I'm reading him backwards. He said this, Mike. Also, Chop says we should be looking at Evan Neal at guard at free agency. He's 25 years old, or make a trade for Jackson Powers Johnson, JPJ. Another JPJ, Mike, that we had interest in over the past couple years. He follows that up by saying we have money to spend in free agency. Trevor Penning is another option. We thank you, Chop. Always love hearing your insight on all this that's going on. Can't wait to get these guys on and involved more. They are working on it, Mike. Things are happening to get that going. Welcome, Chop. Glad to have you on the terrible board as always, my man. Part of the new member of the Two Dum Yinzer crew, guys. Let's move on the board here. Max Sharping, Mike. Max Sharping, we're talking about a guard. We're talking about offensive depth. We're talking about the left side of the line. Max Sharping at 30 years old during this season. What happens with him next week?
I didn't even know he was still on the team. So if he stays or goes, I think he's going to go. I'm looking for a new crop of that second and third wave offensive linemen, especially with the new coaching staff coming in on the O-line. They probably have guys in mind that they want to bring in. So I have a feeling like the further down you are on the depth chart on O-line, you're rather tenuous to be re-signed, and you might even be cut if you're still under contract.
I do want to follow one more Chop message, Mike. He says no thanks on James Pierre's old ass. Asante Samuel is the number one priority in free agency. I would like to see, Mike, I would like to see Asante Samuel Jr.
I want Asante, I want them both.
And Joey Porter Jr. being our two. And again, depending on what else they do with either the draft or the free agency. Mike, let's scoot on. Who do we just touch on? Max Sharping. Let's go to we just talked about him in a sense, Mike. Let's talk about
another one.
James Pierre, of course, kind of just linked to what we just said. Mike, he's going to be 30 years old this year. James Pierre, when it's all said and done, is he going to be a Steeler moving forward? I know that you're what you like. I know what I'm reading here. At the end of the day, does he make the cut, or does this draft and free agency season kind of, again, push him out?
With the new coaching staff, it might be he's on the way out.
All right. Next on the list,
another one.
Donald Parham, like the tight end. Donald Parham is a free agent this year. Did you even know that we had Donald Parham is sitting at the tight end position? As we continue to talk about the tight end room, this is certainly a name that has escaped us. Mike, is Donald Parham.
The injury bug has plagued him throughout his entire career, so I think he's gone.
All right, guys, just two more unrestricted free agents, guys, and there is a handful of restricted free agents. Mike, on this list is the fourth string quarterback or third string, how you look at it. Skylar Thompson, he had a nice preseason last year. Came out and it was impressive. There's no two ways about it. But as I said before, Kenny Pickett even swept the preseason as a rookie or for second year, whatever it was, Mike. He beat Buffalo in the preseason. Say what you want about preseason, but it is what it is. Skylar Thompson on this list, Mike. And you know what? It all depends also on what it is they're going to do. We're going to find out what's going on with Aaron. We're going to find out what we're going to do with that position. Mike, in your opinion, is Skylar Thompson, is he still on this roster when it's all said and done?
No. I think he'll go. Aaron will be back, and they draft a quarterback in the mid to late rounds to round out their four quarterbacks.
That's the way that it seems to me. Mike, Calvin Austin, maybe one of the more important, notable names on this free agent list. Mike, I said earlier, I think the way they draft, the way they handle free agency, I think that pushes him down a little bit on this depth chart in our wide receiver room. But at the end of the day, Mike, I think he still is on this roster when all said and done. Calvin Austin, what's your take?
I hope they bring him back. I like him as a football player. I don't like him as my number 2 or number 3. Right. So, like you said, if you can get someone via trade
Calvin Austin could be your 5,
get 1 or 2 in the draft, he slots into that guy to where you can move around the formation, and he's not counted on to be your number 2 guy. And next thing you know, he's producing how you want him to produce. And we see, you can watch him, man. Like, he's a really good route runner.
Like, what if those are your two bottom guys in your receiver room, Calvin Austin the
Sign me
third
up.
and Roman Wilson? If those are your two bottom guys, DK Metcalf,
sign me up.
you slot in a 2 that's somebody of value. You slot in a 3 of somebody that you like, and then 4 or 5 or 5 and 6, however they carry, Austin and Roman Wilson. And Mike, and as you said, these other players being on the team is going to give those guys more opportunity, if you will, because now they're not your primary receivers. They're not the receivers that you're putting your 1 on all day. They're not the receivers that you're putting your 2 on all day. They're not receivers that are going to get doubled. They're two bottom guys, as Tortilla's saying on the board. These are guys that's going to get their opportunities, Mike, because they fell down the chart.
Like, you go back and watch any footage of Calvin Austin versus Sauce Gardner.
I
Calvin
know.
Austin makes him look like a bum.
Yeah.
Like a wash corner. Calvin Austin is a damn good route runner, but you line him up against a number 3, number 4 corner. Sign me the fuck up all day, every day, while you got your big dogs, on the outsides fighting against the other team's big dogs. That's going to open up space right there. I like Calvin Austin, and his contract should be, my God, easy. He's not going to be a $15 million year receiver. You can probably get him for 5 or 6. Sign me up all day, every day for that.
All right, Mike, I have one more unrestricted free agent. Then we have a handful of restricted free agents we're just going to blow through. Unrestricted free agent, Mike, the last one on the list, Connor Hayward, who just turned 27 last month. Meatwad, Mike, 4 years. It's already been 4 years since Michigan State. We drafted him, of course, Cam's little brother. Mike, I think that he stays on this team. I think that he's a part of this team. I think that they use him in those to do the dirty little things that he does out on the field, and he does them well. And again, they built a tush push around him on our team, and a lot of things. Also, being Cam's brother, Mike, I don't think there's any chance that Connor Hayward isn't on this football team. Love him, hate him. He's just a piece now at this point, Mike. That again, if you don't have that versatile utility guy as you do in Connor, now you're gonna have to find him again. Do you already have him on the team? We're gonna have to bring in another guy to fill that role. I think Connor kind of fills that role just nice for where they're at right now. I think Connor Hayward continues to be a Steeler.
Meatwad grew on me this year.
He grew on me too.
Like
a fungus.
Even in his rookie year, I begrudgingly oh, that was a good little play there. That nice little usage there. And he grew on me a lot this year for the stuff that he was out there doing. Is he the greatest football player? No, but is he a sneaky athletic dude? Yeah. Can you do things with him? Yeah. I'm okay bringing him back, because you're not going to pay him a whole lot of money. You're not counting on him to do a whole lot, but what he does well.
I agree. As you said, he tended to grow on you. I didn't.
He went from being Cam Hayward's little brother to being that scrappy guy.
I agree.
That's on your team that everyone has.
I'd rather keep Connor than Cam at this point. I'm going to be honest with you, but that's just me. Let's move on, Mike. Let's talk about these 4 restricted free agents, and then we are rounding third on the show. Let's take a look at. Let's go with Ryan McCollum. Mike, Ryan McCollum is a restricted free agent. He's a center, 27 years old. Jeremiah Moon, the edge rusher, of course, Mike, he's still on the team as a restricted. Corliss Waitman, who I love. Mike, it came down to him and who was the other guy? They were Cam Johnston.
Yeah.
And I think we made the right move. Corliss just boots the hell out of the ball, Mike. There was not many moments last year where he shanked it. I mean, every punter has one of those games every year. You know what? I don't think he had one. Corliss is very consistent, Mike. I love what Corliss Waitman brings on the punt team. And then also Adamio, Mike, the defensive lineman. These are your 4 restricted free agents. Any word on them 4 gentlemen?
I'd keep McCollum and Waitman, but I want to bring in another punter to compete against Waitman too.
Hey, that's always a good idea to have somebody, punter to compete.
Like legit competition.
Right.
Yep.
All right, guys, let's go to, I'm going to grab the board again. Guys, I apologize if I got behind today. We did want to get this list out, but I promise you I will read every message as I do every single day. A few funny things that I do want to get in real quick. We talked about the bottom guys, Mike, on the wide receiver room, and I can't remember. Here it is. Tortilla says Tater is the co-host of the two bottom guys. What a coincidence, Mike. Tater is the co-host of Two Bottom Guys. I thought that was funny. I wanted to make sure I got that one read. Also, I seen somewhere on here with I think John. John made the comment, Mike, that John O. Smith. Now there was a particular episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza got fired, and he tells the boss off, and he ends up just coming back the next day like nothing happened. John says John O. Smith is going to pull a George Costanza and just show up at camp, even though he was fired. All these messages are fantastic, everybody. And you know that I love to get them all in. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't play out that way, but we do read them all every single day. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The dumyinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. My God, we got not only my dumb thoughts over there, we got articles by RB. We got Chop over there putting stuff out for the NFL draft, the NFL draft news. We got all of Brian and I's social media over there. Check it out at the dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. A lot of cool stuff. Mike's really been working on the website, got a new look, and as he said, he did include. It's now including the works and the thoughts of Chop and RB, the two newest members of the team here. Mike has the address up. If you want to check out the website, just go ahead and click on that link. It'll take you right to it. All kind of cool stuff. And again, I love the new guys, Mike, on the team. I couldn't be happier, to be honest. Go check out their work over www.the2dumyinzers.com. All right, guys, it's time to get into the trivia question of the day, Mike. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about free agency.
Ooh.
Free agency, guys. Put on your thinking cap. Mike, put on your thinking cap. Everybody, here is the question of the day. Here we go. What year did the NFL implement the tampering period, or the negotiation period is what it's also referred to, guys? If you don't want to continue to call it the tampering period, it is the negotiation period. Question of the day. What year did the NFL implement the tampering period? Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
I'm Tube.
Throw your interest up on the board if you think you got it. Even if you don't got it, throw your guests up there. Interested to see what everybody thinks, guys. Again, question of the day. What year did the NFL implement the tampering period, or the negotiation period as it's called? Guys, again, this is 52 hours officially before the start of free agency. 52 hours every year before the start of free agency. And this is it was created to reduce illegal backroom deals. So there's just a little bit of information about the tampering period. That helps a little bit. Tyrone is saying 1986. Again, the question of the day: what year did the NFL implement the tampering period? Mike, what is your thought process on this question?
I feel like this is a very recent development within the NFL. So I'm gonna go 2018.
2018. Is this your final answer, Mike?
Final answer.
All right, let me get you locked in. All right, you were locked in. 2018. Vegas is legal tampering is a hilarious term. I'm guessing 2008, not a bad guess. Ty, not a bad guess. 1986, 2008, 2018. Also 19. Let me go back a little bit right here. Tortillas is 1983, which is also a good guess, guys. The year of Albert Hainsworth. I do want to say welcome to Andy Saul Miller. Welcome to the Terrible Board. Welcome to the show. Glad to see you. Glad to have you here. Question of the day, guys, is this. What year did the NFL implement the tampering period for free agency? Give you just another moment. Throw guesses up on the board if you got it. If you know, throw it up as well. Mike chose 2018. Vegas is saying 2008. Tyrone is saying 1986. And finally, Tortilla says 1983. Anybody else got any guesses? I'll just give you just another moment. Throw it up there. I'm looking for the year that the NFL implemented the tampering rule. Steeler Freak says the same year that Colorado legalized weed. That's interesting. So that's somewhat recently as well. What John is saying. One more time. What year did the NFL implement the tampering rule, Mike? The tampering policy, or known as the negotiation period. Some different answers on the board. Just another second. We'll give you the answer here, Mike. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sticking with my answer.
28. That's not a bad guess.
Yeah.
Ty. Look at Ty with the with his most recent comment, Mike. Anything about that catch your interest? Anything? Ty threw up the "Here we go with the 3 Rockets."
Oh shit!
I love.
I thought it was Aaron Jade sneaking.
I did
back in
too.
there.
I do too. Ty said in case
Oh,
Aaron Jade isn't here. That's awesome. Hey, you know
That's
what? Picking
awesome.
up absolutely. See, these are team players, Mike. Everybody,
They are, man.
you know. All right, guys. Here's the question of the day. Here is the answer. Here we go. What year did the NFL implement the tampering period, or the negotiation period, as it's called? A bunch of different answers. Mike says 2018. We've seen different answers at like 1983, 1986, 2008. Guys, the answer, of course, for the question of what year did the NFL implement the tampering period, it was somewhat recent, Mike. In the big picture, I guess, 2012. 2012 was the year that they implemented the tampering period. Again, it was created to reduce illegal backroom deals before free agency. So
I knew it was recent, man. I was off. I was off by what, 6 years? Because you said what, 2012?
yeah, close. I mean, that's close
Yes,
enough
yeah.
in the big picture.
Yeah.
So if you got that, guys, 2012 is the correct answer. It's only been about 14 years. 14 years since this had got implemented, Mike, and again for the right reasons. So Monday, we're certainly waiting for it. I can't wait for Monday, because again, that's when you start seeing some of these names, and they are talking, and a lot of information does start to get leaked out. So beginning Monday, guys, next week, free agency, all about free agency next week. Tampering Monday, Wednesday, it's go time, Mike, and this is when you start. As I always say, I love it. In every sport, I love seeing faces move, people move, seeing how this guy can help this squad out, seeing how this could have improved this or whatnot. So next week, big week in this off season. Let me grab a couple more, Mike, and we are going to get ready to start wrapping things up here on the show today. Vegas says they probably caught Bill Belichick doing some shady crap. I wouldn't doubt it. Tortilla says, the world's going to end them. The world's going to end. Let them tamper. That's right, 2012. 2012. A lot of people thought the world was going to end with the Mayans, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just go down and grab a few more. I'm going to grab a few randoms, Mike. As I said, I don't want to miss anybody. You know this, but we're going to get what we can today. Cody says, well, you can say CA3 scored on Sauce in college. Also, Connor's scrappy. He sure is. He is scrappy. Bill Burr. I like that for Cam Johnston. Cody was on his shit, man. He said this is what he says. Watch the tape of Roman Wilson scoring touchdowns on Joey Porter Jr., which I guess that was possible, right? Michigan and Penn State would have been the same time in school. Let's see. Sommer says this. Calvin Austin III's biggest issue is dealing with press. That's how you shut him down. It is, because he's smaller, and that's why I'm kind of questioning some of these guys, Mike. Yes, Lemon has amazing abilities, but he's not the biggest guy in the world either. So
5'11", $195. That's solid.
That's little. That's a little guy. What's Calvin Austin? I think that's all he is. Right?
No, Calvin Austin's like 5'8", $160, $170.
I think 6 foot is that average size man. So 5'11" certainly is under that. But anyway, really besides the point, Cody Sommer says, "Oh, Cody is bored." And that's what Cody does. He gets bored, and he brings his stuff, man. Tortilla says Tater is the we did get that one, the co-host of the Two Bottom Guys. What a coincidence. We scoot down. I'll grab one or two more, Mike. Vegas says it would be cool if we got a good young vet like Daubs and draft 2 wide receivers. And I'm going to grab one more, just random right here. Mark Malone, he says, we've got Alec Pierce to fill the white receiver quote. You know what I mean? If Scotty Miller goes, what are we going to do, Mike? We won't have that.
I don't know. We got Dirtbag. We got Bensko.
And we got Bensko. That's true. Then I'm gonna go back up here real quick, and Tortilla, everything leads back to Colorado one way or another. Tyrone, you too, my friend. Mike, this is unfortunately the time of the day it is. We're gonna start getting ready to wrap things up. I just want to make a couple statements, and then I'll let you have a few words before we do roll. Mike, I do want to say this. Mike, as is amping up, and again, in later this month you have UFL. So there's going to be football on your TV. Mike, we have the free agency week next week. Big week with tampering Monday, free agency Wednesday. We just finished up the combine. That's a lot of football. So at the end of the day, I know people like to drink beer with their football at any time, guys. Do stop by if you're looking for some beer at Giant Eagle. They do now have 12 packs and 6 packs of Duquesne Pilsner. Mike, you could also get Duquesne Pilsner in cases wherever cases are sold. The guys at Duquesne Pilsner, they go out of their way to help us and include us in promotions and all kind of things like that. So we want to do the same back for them and spread the word. Guys, if you're looking for something to drink this weekend or at any point, stop by, get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. Good beer, like we always have it here at the studio, and it's made right here in Pittsburgh. And it says right on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Also, I do want to say, go check out our social media. Like, we're on Facebook, we're on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Stop by, hit the follow button, keep up with the 2 Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. And finally, if you haven't yet, hit the like button down below, hit the sub, the share, comment, whatever. It all helps in the algorithm, guys. We appreciate it all. Mike, and turn it over to you before we start getting ready to wrap things up.
So once again, great show, everyone. It was a blast. Be sure to check out the website. I appreciate it, guys. RB and Chopper, they're putting in a lot of work over there to add more content for the 2 Dum Yinzers, man. So like we're everywhere. We're here. We're over at the website to check us out. God, man, fun talk today as always, boys. This was the shit. I had a lot of fun. I can't wait for free agency to start, because like Ryan and I were saying today, man, like once we figure out who they signed in free agency, that's going to make figuring out who to draft in the first round so much easier. Because right now, my God, you can go guard, tackle, wide receiver, corner, safety, and not be wrong in any of those positions.
And the thing too, Mike, say what you want about the draft. You got 12 picks, but how many is going to be an immediate impact? There's going to only be a handful of guys that are going to be immediate impact. It's probably going to be the first, second, and maybe the third round guy. Anybody beyond that, Mike, or pretty much you're starting to get into projects. You're starting to get into filler positions. So this week, again, very, very important, Mike, the things that we learned in free agency next week, because whatever we choose and however we choose to fix that problem, we are going to be trying to fill the holes of the other needs in the draft. And again, it's going to be probably with those first 3 picks. 3 out of 12 is going to be, of course, the people that are more than likely going to be able to help immediately. So beyond that, Mike, we're going to learn a lot, I think, next week. And again, it's going to give us a better perspective on what we're probably going to be shooting for in those first 3 picks. Of course, 5 picks in the first 100, that's a good sign. But first 3 are usually your impact picks.
Yeah, and like, don't forget with the comp picks, right now we're projected for an extra 3rd and an extra 4th right there. And then I think 2 6th round picks. So they still have the same 12 picks, and they're in good ranges. Like 3 3rd round draft picks. Like, this is going to be a fun draft coming up. If they get free agency right, man, you can see some of these picks trade to move up and get guys early to get them to have guys that will come in and be impacts immediately. Like if you can get your first round, your second, and at least 2 of your thirds starters, that can be 4 starters right there. Or not even starters, but just like guys that are going to be impact players throughout the season. That this team has the potential to do something.
One quick side story my guy was going to bring up earlier was just a side story, so I didn't really get into it. Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame quarterback from right here in Western Pennsylvania, Mike, he revealed that he wanted to be traded to the Steelers at one point during his career. That would have been something. Hall of Fame Jim Kelly would have came to the Steelers back home here in Pittsburgh. Just something interesting I seen on the side.
That would have been cool.
Absolutely. I want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board. You guys, gals, always keep things interesting here on the show. We wouldn't do it without you. You are the lifeblood of the show. I always say it. I always mean it. Thank you so much, everybody on the terrible board. Everybody that's at home watching, listening, maybe in the car, maybe at the gym, maybe even at work. We want to thank you too, guys. We want to thank everybody. You guys rock our world. You really do, man. And as I always say, we hope that we could just give some of that back, and even a fraction for what you do to us back to you. And that's our goal, as you are the voice of Steeler Nation. And this is where you come to freely express your thoughts, concerns, everything about the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what we do when we do what we do, and that's what we do right here. So thank you so much, everybody. As always, thank you. Mike, anything before we do get ready to wrap things up for the day? Again, this is the Tuesday installment of the show. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again, Mike, as we inch toward the free agency next week, and again, the draft next month. So much going on with the Steeler team, so much it's going to shape and form what your Pittsburgh Steelers are going to look like this year and beyond. So much stuff. We hope to see everybody back. We're here all year as we are working toward our 1,000th show this summer and the 5-year anniversary. We thank everybody so far that's been here for the ride, and we can't wait to see everybody as the ride continues. Mike, go ahead with final thoughts, and we are going to get ready to roll.
Oh, man. Hey, guys, great news. My new computer came. That's why I had to run sitting out there in the rain.
The hamster wheel is done after today, huh?
Yeah, the squeaky. And speaking of the squeaky wheel, it just squeaked. I don't know if anyone picked that up. But,
Mike,
hey, you know.
That's awesome.
Hopefully I'll be back up and running in full capacity.
Just a couple. Let me grab a couple more messages here. Mark Malone says Kelly instead of Brister. What are you, crazy? Jim Kelly instead of Bubby?
I know who would want to upgrade over Bubby. You can't beat the Bubsters.
Tyrone says yes. Omar cooked with these calm picks. Absolutely. Aaron J, thank you, my friend. Great show as always. Everybody, thank you for all the kind words. Certainly appreciate it as always. You are amazing, Steeler Nation. You never ever disappoint. We'll be back tomorrow. We hope to see everybody again. Mike, we'll be at the halfway point, and just I can't wait. I can't wait to get to next week with all this free agency scoop. Everything is so exciting. Next week with free agency, then the draft next month, Mike, exciting. Then July ball to see all these kids play.
Yep.
So much. Everything from here on out is it's going to be a blast. This is one of the biggest off seasons certainly in my life for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're here every minute for the rest of the way, guys. Again, we hope to have everybody here with us. Mike, one last time, speak now or forever hold your peace. Anything?
Nope.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Again, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time. Hope to see everybody then. Thank you so much again, guys, gals, everyone. Enjoy your day. Have a safe Tuesday. Keep warm. It's kind of warm out today, Mike. Is it I wasn't out there this morning. Is it nice this morning? What is it?
God, no, it was cold and rainy when I went to work at 3 a.m.
Oh, it's rainy too. All right, well, do what you want with that. But guys, stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see everybody then. For Finch, for Derpy, for Chop, for RB, for Mike, myself, the two Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.